ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
You put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile.
Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. Yeah, I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
If I can't do it, homie, can't be done.
VIP me put in my pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money, money.
Called out here for a pill. Ready tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find a thing to save my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me, no, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.
What up? What up? It is Alex, the Fantasy Football Hustler, back at you. And oh yeah, these Fantasy Football Week surprises that you will not believe. A lot of it has to do with the players, how good they did. Some of it has to do with the good advice that I gave you. And a lot of it has to do with getting ready for the next week. So let's go. If you guys are watching this on replay, just keep watching. We got a lot of good information that's coming through. Shout out to Emil. To Big Bando, said I need 30 from Kelsey tonight. And Emil said I need Olave to not score more than 11 points for me to win my week. Well, Godspeed. Daniel Barry, what up? And the rolls. I've been having some weird dreams lately, bro. Like Freddy Krueger dreams. Sea Wolves, what up? Hey, Minnesota Marty, what up? Let's get it. Toyota One, he said morning to fine Monday. Said, how's everyone leagues going so far? Man, I hope better this week. Than last week. Bando said morning. Said everyone said for tonight I need 30 from Kelsey. Godspeed. May the fantasy gods be with you. Hey, Marco. What up? All right. Let's get down to biz. Oh, man. All right. And there was one situation specifically that I've been like thinking about. And man, okay. So I'm not even sure who it was. It was someone who's a regular. And I cannot remember for the life of me what the person's name was, but it was someone in the chat yesterday. And as you guys know, I hate Deontay Johnson. Okay. Hate him. Now, in addition to that, the Panthers were going up against the Bears yesterday. And the quarterbacks and wide receivers on the Bears, like going against the Bears, pretty much score nothing. It's been like that the entire year. And so there was just a lot of times where I was blindly just taking the other option from Deontay Johnson, even if it was halfway decent. Okay. Now he asked me Deontay Johnson or Brandon Ayuk. Without too much hesitation, I say Brandon Ayuk. And then he kind of, it was nothing bad, but he was like, man, you sure? Like, really? And like totally made me like question, question the, the logic, the research, and like everything that's gone into why I would say Ayuk like that quickly. And at the end of week 5, I was correct. And I even said later, someone kept asking me about Ayuk, and they're like, man, I can't take another donut from Ayuk. And I had certain logic on why this would actually be like a really good play, especially over Deontay Johnson. And like he went back and forth and kept trying to convince me that Deontay Johnson was the best pick. And because he wanted to be like in sync with the way that I think. So in making me do all this, I was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck Ayuk. Go Deontay Johnson. But that was only for his team. It wasn't for my team. It wasn't for anybody else. It did not change the way that I really thought about Brandon Ayuk. And because he needed me to agree with him, it ended up hurting him. So I just want everybody to remember that. You don't need me to agree with you. You don't need for me to agree with what you do. You just want to take in the information that I give because I literally do this all day, every day. And sometimes it might not make sense what I'm saying. And I swear to God, like I have this weird, like gut feeling sometimes about players. And like Ayuk was one of those players. Like, I mean, I think it was like Johnny who was like, man, he was like, no one's saying to start Ayuk. So if he balls out, like, we know that there's something with you. And Emil said Ayuk balled out. Yeah. So just sometimes you got to remember, like, I get these gut feelings and it's not always going to be right, but I swear to God, it's like a superpower that I have. And like, it's just for like a couple things where like, I have no idea just sometimes the gut feeling like, ends up being right. And, so that's just a little public service announcement for anybody just moving forward. Just remember, you don't need me to agree with you. I'm not saying we can't go back and forth and we can't go, you can't tell me why you think that this person should start and all that. But if you're here because you want the best advice, like out of me, you want to just take the advice. You don't want to try to like convince me otherwise. I'm not always going to be right, but I feel like at this point, I'm right more than I'm wrong. And like the what's it called? The proof's in the pudding. The proof's in the pudding. And what up, JPZ? What up, Edwin? Said any KC fans, how do they play the receivers and how's Olave matchup? I mean, Olave's got a good matchup. I mean, it's not like they completely shut down like the number one wide receiver, so I do like that. But as far as the receivers go, man, if anybody says they have a real guess on how this is going to work, it's literally that. It's literally just a guess. But I bet you Justin Watson gets a little bit more of an uptick. I bet you their backup tight end gets a little bit more of an uptick as well. And Raul said another big week for Swift. It was a good matchup, like really good matchup versus the Panthers, and they handled biz. Big Bando said I should have listened to you when you said Mooney over any Panthers wide receiver. It's just we don't want wide receivers versus the Bears. Like I said it even before the season started, they legit have one of the best secondaries in the NFL. And like it might not be a lot of household names, but they are fucking really good over there, and they've been building this secondary for like a couple years now. So yeah, that was yeah, so just moving forward, we got to be real careful when we start wide receivers against against these guys. John said, who's the number one waiver wire pickup this week? That's a good question, and I don't know if there's a definitive number one if there's a number one waiver wire like option this week, but we're going to get into waivers in a little bit. So just make sure you hang out and I'll let you know who I think is the number one waiver, and then probably who's going to be the number one waiver based on percentages and like things like that. Big Bando said I would have had this week in the bag rather than needing a big game from Kelsey. Oh man. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. Armed Apex, what up, bro? He said, need Mahomes to be shut down. I mean, it's kind of been happening. And Marco said, sometimes it wouldn't make sense. Make sense sometimes. I'm just saying sometimes it won't make sense what I'm saying because sometimes I make choices based on like a gut feel on certain people in certain situations. So that's what I'm saying. And he said, you're giving us advice, take it as that, make the decision at the end of the day. Yeah, for sure. And that's what it is. Like, like nobody cares more than you guys about your team, so you got to make the right decisions for your teams. But yeah, we are here doing all this research though, for sure. And I would say, no, I just meant, do they focus on the number one wide receiver in coverage? Oh, not necessarily. Like when they had Snead, like last year, like then things are different. It's like he's following the main guy. Not really. Like, will they put more emphasis on him than other wide receivers? I'm sure, because why wouldn't they? But they don't have a shutdown corner over there that's going to follow him and shut him down. Like, will they double team him with the safety? Like, I'm sure sometimes they will, but I don't think it is going to be anything over. I don't think it's going to be anything worth getting super nervous about. 6. I only need 11.2, but I'm nervous. I mean, shit, you get one touchdown out of Olave. You're like halfway there. Feel like Olave's floor is single digits. I mean, you're probably basing that off of like the first 2 games specifically of the season. I don't think I would. And it's like, and do you have anybody else to play? Because if not, you're just fucking stressing yourself out over nothing like right now. So do you have another player that you can play? Or you're just like that nervous that you want to put bad energy, out there? Because I feel like a lot of people do it to themselves. Just think positive. Like 12 points is nothing. That's 60 yards and a touchdown. You want to break that down even farther? That's 30 yards, 3 receptions, and a touchdown. Like very easy to get to that. No touchdown. 6 receptions for 60 yards. Boom. See how hard that doesn't sound? 4 receptions for 80 yards. Shit, 8 receptions for 40 yards. Like when you think of it like that, it's like it's not that hard. But if we think about, oh shit, he scored like 5 points in week 1 and scored like 3 points in week 2, don't focus on those super shitty weeks that just started the season. Because he's been pretty solid like after those first 2 weeks, right? And Lipsy said I should have started Bowers over Kincaid. I mean, if I'm like, literally, you could say that about everybody on the Bills, right? Because like shit, you could have started anybody over Josh Allen this week. It's that's fantasy football. Tried to want him down 150.16 to 150.17 with Drew Tranquil left. So you're saying I have a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
Jake Cass, he said my win depends on Kelsey getting over 12 points. I mean, it's tough, but with no Rice, I mean, we should be looking at what happened last week a little bit more than what's happening, the couple weeks before that. Hey, what up, Jared? Shout out to the Houdat Nation. What up, bro? And he said I started Love over Burrow. Yeah, and see, and you know what? It's crazy because do you remember how many people told me like, why would I start Burrow in this bad matchup over like, I don't know, like I just can't even remember like certain people that like they were throwing out. And I'm like, you can do whatever you want. My answer is Burrow. And Burrow prevailed in a bad matchup. It was a tough matchup, but they were at home and they had everybody back. Like, come on, man, come on. And I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to everybody who questioned my Burrow like logic this week. And Crispy said Hunt leading the Chiefs tonight. Probably. I mean, they got, I don't know. I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is coming back because they damn it, dude. All right, hold on 1 second. It's like so hot in here. I like can't even think. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. 2 seconds. Man, just sometimes in the morning it takes a little bit longer. I don't like for this AC to start kicking in. But yeah, Crispy, I do think that Hunt is leading the charge, but it is going to be a little bit of a committee. Emil said McDuffie's nice. He'll lock down Olave. Well, he could, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to shut him down necessarily. And Edwin said, no, just stressing because I had the luxury. Oh, benching Flowers, Downs, JSN. Okay. Yeah, and fuck Flowers, okay? Damn it. All of a sudden, Flowers, motherfucker. And all right. 1 sec. Someone said, I'll check out your channel. So I'm going to go send them the link to today's live stream. Okay. All right, Coach C. The NFL is rigged, and the Seahawks are a team of bums.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
I'll tell you one place that I didn't trust my gut because I lost in another Survivor series, another survival pool that I started, and I thought the Seahawks, like that was like my team over like everybody this week. Like if I could pick anybody, and in that other league, I had everybody except the Steelers available, I believe. And so I chose the Seahawks, and I had this gut feeling when Coach C was like, I'm taking the Seahawks this week. I had a gut feeling that I needed to change my pick, but I was thinking about the wrong league because I started thinking like, oh shit, maybe I should change my Washington pick to Denver, but I was supposed to change my Seattle pick to Washington. So my gut was right, but I didn't trust my gut and I didn't listen to it in the correct way. Fucking sucked. So I lost in one of them, but I'm still alive in the one where oh yeah, and wait, let's see. Still alive. Let's see if the other person is, because I didn't see what they chose. Ooh, they chose Monday night. They either chose Monday night or they didn't pick one of the two. And Armed Apex at Alec Pierce putting in work. Yeah, and it was, I mean, hella fluky for sure. But like, this is like the Jags. Like they give up like hella booty to like everywhere. So like, we just got to remember that moving forward. Like the Jags is a team that we want to stream so many players against. Oh shit. Edwin said it was about to be an L this week, but now he's got a chance to win. There we like it.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
There we go. Coach C said this guy has the script. I wish, man. I wish I had the script. We need to go. I mean, you know, it's 2024, but in Back to the Future, we need to go forward to 2015 and buy one of the almanacs, make it back. Coach C said, what if the third team gets out tonight? How does that work? That means you guys, that means you guys split second and third place. Then that means the kid takes first place. That's how it would work. Jay Cass, I have to start trusting my gut too. Yeah, we really do. And sometimes, you know, your gut may seem so weird that you're like, fuck, do I even trust this? Like, why am I feeling this right now? And Edwin says, love that bong. It looks like a demon. Let's go.
Let me hit that ball.
Tron Force, 2 and 3, trying to stay around 500 till Cup and 2 it come back. Or Tyreek, JD5, Tyreek, McCorn, Barkley, Monty, and Joku, JSN, Mooney, D-Hop, Mostert, Madison, Braylon, Sermon, Cup in the IR spot. I like it. Pretty solid. And go look at your points against and like points for. Like maybe you just had a bad run of things, you know, schedule-wise in the beginning of the season. And JMW, what up? Said I had Chase, DJ Moore, and T all up. Let's go. With the Broncos defense. Boom. We all the way up. Boom. And Edwin said, speaking of booty, what happened to the OG that used to be here with you? You know, we had our little Skip and Shannon breakup. They're doing, you know, he's doing some other things. He didn't. Yeah, I don't even know like how to explain it, but pretty much like got to the point literally like if you guys know the Skip and Shannon like debacle, like it got to where he was just like literally yelling me on like live. And I was like, man, this is supposed to be fun. Like I'm not doing this to get like yelled at because you think my takes are wrong because you like the 49ers. And then, you know, I think a lot of it, what it was is I was really right about Sam Darnold and Trey Lance. And like, he was like one of the biggest Trey Lance truthers like ever. And I was the one when the draft happened. I was like, man, I know they didn't trade up to like get a tight end, but I was like, Kyle Pitts would be like a Super Bowl, like type of like move that wins. Trey Lance is not a Super Bowl like type of move. And he like ever since then, I feel like he lost respect for me because he loved Trey Lance so much. Because you don't yell at people online like or like, you know, guys that you're, you know, quote unquote co-host with if you like have respect for them, because now with like the show they got, I doubt he ever yells at any of those out of the peeps that he does content with. And like you hear some of their takes and like it's fucking laughable. It's fucking laughable. So yeah, I'm doing it solo, man. Like fuck everybody else. Like I might collab like here and there with like people, but I've grown more in this off season and going into this season than any other year previously. More subscribers, more views. We crossed like 3 million views like now total. Like we're killing it, man. And Edwin said crashing out of friendship over Trey Lance is crazy. Yeah, and see that's the thing. Like, you know, if a take can make it be like that, are we really friends at the end of the day? Like, you know, I'm just coming to terms with reality of like what it is. Like I was an outlet for him to like escape his family a little bit, you know, come on here and have some fun. But I don't know, things just kind of changed. But they're like, man, one of his friends is hella petty. It's funny. Tino, you might be watching. This shit's hilarious. Yeah, they're getting real petty over there. At least Tino is. And Armed Apex said Lance isn't relevant at all. I mean, he never was, like outside of those 2 games before he got hurt. That was it. And he said, sorry, man, had a good flashback when you mentioned Jags giving up hella booty. Good times. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, Derek, what up? Salute my brother. Let's get it. Man, hope work goes quick for you, Derek. Hope work goes quick. All right. Woo. We're off to a good start so far. Derek said me too, bro. I hope so. And when's training over, dude? Is training over already? I don't even know. My timelines are so skewed right now. So I'm just gonna recap the top 5 at every position, and then we'll jump into some waivers here soon. So at the QBs, Mr. Joe Burrow so far, QB1 on the week with his 45 points. And Kirk Cousins, like shit, I'm sure everybody thought after Thursday's game that he was going to be like the number 1 QB on the week. But he ended up being the number 2 QB on the week, right behind Joe Burrow. And shit, Joe Burrow, 5 touchdowns, 392 yards. And I mean, Kirk Cousins was pretty awesome though. 509 total yards and 4 touchdowns. And Edwin, yeah, throw in your trade stuff. Lamar, man, when are people gonna stop hating on Lamar for like not being a good thrower of the ball? Like, dude, that might legit have like be one of the plays of the year when it's all said and done. That play where he like bad snap, fumbled the ball, knew I should eat that popcorn, and then like totally keeps Trey Hendrickson off him, buys enough time to where he like gets all the way, like he's like about to run out of bounds, throws it, gets smashed out of bounds by Jermaine Pratt, touchdown. And Leon, what up, bro? On Twitch, shout out. What up, dude? And then Baker Mayfield, number 5 on the week. It's crazy how 2 of these games produced 4 of the quarterbacks. And then, Flacco. Totally didn't mention him. Flacco. Let's go. And that goes money. Said, what up, player? He said, you know what's better than, it's like my daddy always told me, only thing better than a crawfish dinner is 5 crawfish dinners. Salute. And let's see the running backs. Dude, Tank Bigsby. What the shit? What the fuck do we do with Tank Bigsby? I have no idea. 25 points. I bet nobody started him. Swift. Yeah, those are the only 2 guys to get over 20 points this week at the running back. You know who was the 3rd highest scoring running back on the week? Ramondre Stevenson. This is why you don't listen to those dumbass people out there who are like, Ramondre Stevenson got benched. He lost his job. Like, dude, anybody who said that shit you know right now to like never listen to those people again. Who do you trust? You trust me. That's who. Remember in Deep Blue Sea, Michael Rappaport, who are you going to trust? You trust me. That's who. And yeah, I mean, Bigsby had 2 big runs. Like that's what kind of skews it a little bit, is like the 2 big runs that he had. Leon said, how much percentage of money would you put on Tank Bigsby? I have 100. Go look at what everybody else has. You better throw down like 70%, 75%, something insane like that. Not even joking, because everybody is going to. Everybody is going to. And right, Edwin said they started Gibson, all right. Yeah. Hey, what up, stranger? He said, who day? He said, discovered some bullshit. I can't chat. If I watch on my TV, I can read but not post. Yes. I don't know why it's like that. But yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. And Emil said Bigsby came out of nowhere. Not necessarily out of nowhere, but you know, to where he's like the #1 running back on the week. Like, yeah, that's out of nowhere. And Edwin said Bigsby does that every time he gets to run now chunks. Yeah, and I think that it's only a matter of time before teams start defending him a little bit different. But he had some broken tackles that made him get those yards. So it's like, you know, he's a little bit of a tank for sure. I mean, that's why he's Tank Bigsby, right? And Leon said, what would you do with Breece Hall? Keep? Well, I mean, what, as opposed to what? Dropping him or trading him? I don't think anyone's going to give you what you want trade-wise. What up, Jamie? What's going down, bro? So, and that's why I stashed Bigsby just in case he became some. Yeah, I mean, he showed the flashes. Like I've talked about him on my waiver wire videos, you know, in the past. But it's tough. It's tough when a guy's not getting like a lot of touches like that, you know, to where we're just like blindly start him, you know, like now that we saw it and like watch, like next week, let's see who they got next week. I don't even know. But like so many people are going to be chasing those points now. You know what? They got Chicago next week. That's actually a good matchup for the running backs. Like you cannot throw on them. The quarterbacks cannot get shit. So it might be an ETN and Tank Bigsby game next week. So never mind. I would say, I mean, for sure, if Tank is not rostered in more than 55% of leagues or 50% of leagues, that Tank Bigsby is no doubt about it the #1 waiver wire claim. Let me pull up Yahoo and see. Yahoo's really the place that I go to for my redraft percentages, because screw ESPN. Hell. Here we go. Let's see. I'm very curious. Let's see what Bigsby is rostered at right now. 23% rostered. Okay, so hands down, no matter what, Tank Bigsby is the #1 waiver wire claim of the week. That's for sure. And Marco, that's why I'm using 2 devices when I watch on my TV. You the man. Smokey the cat, what up? He said won this week by 0.2 points with a Dowdle fumble. Damn. It's crazy how like when we watch the games and like, you know, points are at certain points and whatever, and like the microscope is just so down on like whatever happens in that Sunday night football game, right? Dude, man, I bet that person is hella pissed because Dowdle did fucking great. Dowdle did fucking great. And hey, how about them Padres? How about them Padres whooping that Dodger ass? Let's go. They better do the same shit when they get back to San Diego. J-Man, need 35 points from Olave to beat you in the Battle of the Brands. Godspeed, my brother. Again, if I fucking lose, that would be some bullshit. I swear to God, like I have like the highest points scored in that league right now. 2 times I scored in the top 4 and caught losses. Okay, no, I definitely don't have the highest score. Because I see Bees Barbarians has 239. God damn. Darnold, Hubbard, Mooney, Evans, Wandale, Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Kirk Cousins. Damn. Glad I didn't play Bees Barbarians this week. But no, legit. 1, 2. I'm the third highest scoring team as of right now. And it's fucking bullshit. There's a fucking possibility that I don't win this game somehow. Dude. And you're totally wrong about the 35 points, though. Because right now I'm beating you by 46, 45 and some change. And Scotty Boy, what up, homie? He said Nick's team needs 16 points from Kamara. I mean, it is a really tough matchup. Said in my league, that's 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, 2 receptions. Light work, man. Yeah, you better hope that the receptions, man, because dude, I'm nervous about Kamara. Anyone who needs a super huge game out of him because the Chiefs have been holding it down. So yeah, just keep putting out the goodness into the universe. Mark, are realistic that Justin Watson ends up with with -9 points? I don't think it's too realistic. Like, you know, maybe he could catch a ball and fumble, and maybe he gets like minus something, but -9, that's so many fumbles. Like at that point, like so many fumbles and like so many negative yards. So unrealistic. Tried to one. Tolbert and Ferguson did decent. Fergie played Tolbert, was on the bench, and but now maybe a flex option. Yeah. That's because the team was keying in so much on CD Lamb. Kind of leaves these other guys a little bit more open, right? Scotty Boy 3-0 in the Hustler Leagues this week. Impressive. Jamie said, oh shit, my math was off. I should have just let you think that. So just the whole time you're like 35 points. Come on, 35 points. And then he gets 35 and you're like, fuck, I lost. And Smokey the Cat Cap heading to Tuesday game. Nice. And say, yeah, I was like, anyone fuck score. He said, but Dowd always said, I'm a Steelers fan. I didn't care my fantasy team. Said, I didn't care. My fantasy team is my only true team, right? See, and it's like, I know these teams, you know, they probably care about their fans, but, you know, I feel like my fantasy football team cares about me. And Marco said, and that I don't get why I still have an 18% chance to win in Dynasty. Oh, and all they have is fucking Justin Watson, and you have nobody, and it's not 0% for you. What the fuck? Toyota one need 25 points for Hunt tonight. So you're telling me I have a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. And said, how'd you know Ramondre was gonna be a fine play? I can't believe I did as well as I did. Yeah, logic. So did I know that he was gonna have 19 points? Fuck no. But like, this is literally everything I said about Ramondre, and it had to do with what the coach said. The coach told us. The coach fucking told us. And I can't believe there were some people who were like, not some people, there's like 1 or 2 people who are like, I don't believe he was in the doghouse. Like that doesn't happen to professional athletes. Dude, Jared Mayo is trying to build a culture behind himself. He literally said, Ramondre is not going to start. Pause, ... But I'm going to be fully transparent. He's going to play, and he knows that he needs to hold on to the ball in the future. So I literally said, this is a punishment. The starting RB could literally get the first play of the game, and that's it. And that makes them the starting RB. And like, literally after that first touch, Ramondre got 2 touches in that drive. One of them was for a 30-yard touchdown. Gibson was nowhere close to getting the ball like him ever again after that. Because, you know, the fucking Mayo was like, all right, see, just hold on to the ball, kid. We're going to keep running you. Like something of that nature. So did I know that he was going to be the 3rd or 4th best, you know, running back like on the day? Like, hell no, I didn't. But there were so many people who asked fucking Gibson or Stevenson, and I still said Stevenson. I don't give a fuck about Gibson starting. Like, who's better? As long as Stevenson doesn't fumble. And I was like, if you think that Stevenson's gonna fumble, don't start him, because if he fumbles, he's fucked. He didn't fumble and had a fucking great game because it was a good matchup. Like, also, like, that's another thing too. It wasn't like we were starting him like last week, like versus the 49ers, where that was like a real shit matchup. Like, it was versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins are like literally one of the worst against the run. So, like, even if Gibson did get more touches, like, Stevenson still would have had a shot to like make some shit happen. But see, who else was saying that besides me? Like, I bet that there was very, very few people who were saying that besides me. Most of the fantasy analysts out there were saying Stevenson got benched. You want no part of it. And like, that's someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. If you saw some shit like that, send me a clip so we could like watch these fools, you know? And Marco said, got nobody. Oh, you got nobody. I got Watson, and I'm about 9 points in front. Interesting. Interesting. So that's hilarious. Starting as in the first touch. Yeah, because that's literally what makes a starter. That's literally what makes the starter. If you break it down like that, fine. Because we see where guys who are not the quote unquote starters get more work than the starter. Like, it's happened before. Edwin, let's see, Allen, Olave, Godwin, Reed, Flowers, Downs, Taylor Gibbs, Dobbins, Sermon, Tracy, Kincaid, Kraft, Hawk. Dude, why are you worried about trading though? I'm just saying. And Aiden said, nobody. You're the only guy I watch who said start Ramondre. And how many other people like didn't like name a couple people who said to not start Ramondre no matter what because he was benched. If anybody heard any fantasy analyst, I'm just curious what type of analysts, analysts may have said that. Because it's funny to me. And Edwin said, how do I consolidate, not have such time? Well, here's the thing. If you're going to consolidate, you trade like one starter plus like two bench people or even three bench people for one super, super, super solidified starter. You have to overpay more often than not. Especially in this kind of looks like a 10-teamer. I'm assuming it's a 10-teamer. So that's like the only way that you can consolidate is like you trade one starter plus two or three bench guys that, they're not really that important to your team. And then you go after a top dog, somehow. Now you have to find the right team that will trade with you. Cause you can't just say, I can't just say, I want to go trade for Justin Jefferson. Like, no, like, don't do that. Like, you can't just go like pick someone like that. You got to narrow it down, see whose team is like sucking right now, but they have like one or two good players. And you're like, hey, your team fucking sucks. I have some depth. Why don't I trade you some of my depth and you trade me X, Y, or Z, like something like that. I like when you can tell, when you can say, I want one of these couple players. Who do you value the least? That's like an awesome way to figure out who you can really trade for, because a lot of times your ideology on who you like might not align with the person. I swear to God, it's happened to me so many times where the person that I like the most out of the players that I'm asking, like the person A, X, Y, and Z, I'm down to trade for them. Who do you like the least? Because I'm trying to get whoever I can get from you for the cheapest. And it's happened sometimes where I give someone three people and the person that they like the least is the person that I like the most. And when that happens, I mean, that's like a true match made in heaven. True match made in heaven. And yeah, problem is identifying the true upgrades. Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there who want to trade just to trade. Got to make a calculated trade, not say, yeah, I'm going to trade these three people for these three people. And yeah, I'm upgrading. Like, no, don't do that. It's like literally the worst type of trades that you can make. Okay. 12-teamers had drafted like a demon. Good shit, dude. Good shit. Because that definitely looks like a 12-teamer. Got some injuries though. Dobbins is also nothing. But yeah, look at that, man. You got Kraft. You got Kraft. And Marco said Akers and McLaughlin were my other options besides Stevenson. So I started Stevenson. Boom, man. Boom. James said I told someone to start Stevenson on the Sunday show. Even said just because he's not starting the game doesn't mean he won't get the most work. And he said you were the only person I heard and that I heard that wasn't worried. Yeah. Well, and I was kind of worried because I said if he fumbles, he's done. But I was confident enough to know that if he didn't fumble, he was going to out-touch, out-snap, and out-produce Gibson because it's Ramondre, dude. Like, Ramondre is really good. But yeah, those 2 fumbles, man. Like, you can't fumble twice in a game. Not when your team is not that good, because it doesn't matter. Like, the team's not good anyway. So if like you're going out there and you're like literally the best player and you're fucking up like that, coach has got to make a statement. And you know what? Remember how Tom Brady, he would say how Bill Belichick would not cut him any slack. Like, it's not like he ever said he was going to bench him or anything, but Tom Brady said that he would get bitched out during the meetings, like all the time, that shit that he did wrong, like after a win. And, and like, you know, like it was to like make an example out of him. So people knew that even if Tom Brady fucked up a little bit, he was going to get criticized. And like, I think Jared Mayo knew that. Like, he had to make a point to the team. No one is bigger than the team. Ramondre's in the doghouse. He's still going to play. He's got to prove himself. And what did he do? He played. He proved himself. Now he's going to be the RB1 on that team moving forward. And he knows he can't fumble. Like, I mean, just like everybody knows you can't fumble. King DLBC, what up, bro? Juggernaut in the house. What's up? Reading Godwin 7-8 was crazy. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And Crispy said, I need Rashid and Hunt to give me my first victory in the Buffy. Ooh, man. The vampire getting close. Does the vampire smell blood? How many points you need out of both of them combined? Crispy. And said, yeah, like I said. Oh, Mason with the flock said fantasy, so to bench him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and yeah, he does, you know. People can put in the chat what they think about Flock. Because when people say Mason, like, it's funny. Like, you said Mason, where was Mason said not to start him. I literally don't even know him by his Christian name. I only know him by Flock. So even when you said that, it did not even compute for me. Mason stinks, no feel for the game. Yeah, it's because he's talking to a lot of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's like he had what his claim to fame is he won $150,000 on FanDuel or whatever. It doesn't even seem like he plays in fantasy football leagues, man. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Edwin said never once heard him mention the types of coverage someone will face. Yeah, because then you have to actually do research. Then you have to actually do some research. You know why a lot of people don't like me? Is because I don't agree with them. But what happens is sometimes when I don't agree with people, I end up being right, but then the person ends up being embarrassed and doesn't come back, because I've seen that happen before. And then they go watch other people that they can get to agree with them, and then they suck at fantasy football when you should just be fucking with the best. You fucking with the best. Jamie said, we're going to see Drake May soon. No, there's no point. Like, they would be so stupid to play Drake May this year. Like, I don't care, like, about him getting, like, in-game experience under his belt. That would probably do more detriment to him than it would do good. Totally. What up, Sean? What's going down, bro? Juggernaut said waiver wire Wicks was a dud, bro. Like, how many times did I say, like, he could go for like 2 points just as easy as he could go for 20? So we can't just like blindly start him. And Emil said Mason, he's a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
And how's the sound on the drops, guys? I got some new audio software. Let me know. How's the volume sound? King D said went to the Rams-Packers game yesterday. Nice. How was that? I'm assuming that wasn't your first time going to SoFi, was it? And Mobbin' Too Slick, what up? You think Rico Dowdle had a fluke game or continues to be dominant in performances? I am leaning more on the side of it being like, okay, do I think that he could do this on a regular basis? not really, but it's like the Cowboys, I don't think can do this on a normal basis. Like, really is what it is. I really feel like Rico is the guy over there because Zeke fucking sucks. Cooks is nothing. They got that fullback who fucking they got that fullback, you know, who's getting like a couple touches like here and there. But yeah, it just really seems like Rico is the guy and that nobody else is as good as him on the Cowboys in the Cowboys backfield. And like that's kind of bad because Rico's not even that good. So I think it's bad all around. I'd try to move off of him, you know, but I don't want to sell him for like absolutely nothing. Crispy said 31. Whew.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
Edwin said, what wide receiver do you have over Olave and Godwin, Reed, rest of the season? Like, clearly. See, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure I could go down a list of like a couple people, but it's like you have to go find that team that has one of those top tier guys, you know, and I'm on like, man, I don't know, like Tyreek Hill. Like, dude, Tua's going to come back. Tua's going to come back. It's just like trading for him at the right time for the right price. J Cash, yeah, confirmation bias, a real thing. Fuck yeah, it is. Because most people want, like, they want to ask a question so they could get the confirmation that they were right about their own thinking. And like, so I really feel like that is such a bad like mentality to have because like, why even ask someone a question? And I'm not even saying me. Like, I mean, you know, they talk about it in the league. It was so funny. Like Ruxin, just that guy. Look at him. He's polling everybody. Like, dude, like, like sometimes I'll get a message from someone and it'll ask me a question. And then like, I'll see that question in the fantasy football group of like 100,000 people. And then I'll see it in every chat of that group. And it's like in there like 6 times. And you just like, I feel like that's the worst is like you get all of this information and it's about 2 or 3 guys. And then people say this, people say this, people say this. And it's like, now you got to make your own decision anyways. And it just fucking confused you. So I don't know why people do that. And everyone said, yeah, which of these 3 guys, which of those 3 guys sell high? I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't really want to sell those guys right now. They're doing so good. Dubs is pissed because Reed's the guy now. I'm not even going to try to say that, Marco. Aiden said, watching Fantasy Flock seems so legit on the production side. But they're so wrong often. Said, I don't know how he has so many viewers. Because he got in earlier than other people. And a lot of people follow him who don't know. Like, think about how many casual people there are playing fantasy football right now. Like, that's what you got to think about. Like, millions of casuals, people just playing for the first time, and they see this channel and he's got hundreds of thousands of followers and like, whoa, this guy's wearing a suit, dude, he must be legit. And then they come over here and like, dude, this guy's ripping a bong and he's got some stupid Friday the 13th t-shirt on and some fucking hat that I don't even know what the fuck it is. And I'm just like ripping a bong and just like giving correct answers all day. And I know I'm not 100%. Will, let him know, bro. Smash that like button. Appreciate you guys. And Juggernaut, what do you think of Tracy? He looked good. He looked good for sure. I mean, the Seahawks, that's one of the ways that you could kind of get them is on the ground. He looked way better than Singletary ever looked. I'll tell you that much. He looked very, very determined. Crispy said, only thing you could count on with the Cowboys is Dak throwing to the other team. Did Dak throw an INT yesterday? I can't even remember. King D, like my 3rd time going. We need some more Rams fan. It was like 70% Packers, 30% Rams. I mean, that's the worst thing about Southern California in general. I mean, shit might be the worst things about Vegas also if you get like if you come here and you're like a fan of the Raiders, you know. Because yeah, dude, it's like SoCal, people want to go there to go see their teams. People will travel to SoCal to go see their teams. And same thing with Vegas, man. It's like, man, the Raiders, like every time they play, like it's, you know, it's the black hole. There's a portion of the fans that are the black hole, but man, I've only been to one game and there was like, it was the Chiefs and the Raiders. And man, there were so many Chiefs fans in attendance. Said, yeah, Reed's tough because he's a baller, but never gets double-digit targets also. I mean, sometimes the efficiency outweighs the volume. Harvey, what up, bro? IDP life forever. Let's go. Forever. Edwin said, but he's my favorite personal win of the bunch, so it's tough. Yeah. So humans are animals. We need to be programmed at an early age to go with the consensus, hence the sheep and the wolf mentality, for sure. For sure. And he said most people will make their decisions based on group bias. For sure. For sure. And that's why even like, you know, with everything that when I started doing the content, like it was always like, man, I want to have like a team of people and we can do this and that and everything. And man, that only sounds good on paper. Fuck a team. Like I mean, not like fuck a team, because I am going to build the team, but a lot of people are going to be behind the scenes, like with, you know, with this team, because that's really where I need help. I don't need people. I mean, you know, not that I don't want people randomly coming on the show and talking, but I feel like there's this big sense from the fantasy football community that they need like 4, 5, 6 people like fucking talking on the screen at the exact same time to make themselves a legit show. To me, that waters down the product. It actually seems like some bullshit ESPN or FS1 shit that nobody wants to watch anyways. He got the Mr. Beast formula. Soulless. Yeah. Papa J, what up, bro? And he said, fuck team defense. Let's get it. Edwin said, this stream is all soul. Man, that's a great compliment, man. That's a great fucking compliment. I appreciate that. And Drew said, Packers dub and a fantasy football dub. Good week. Hell yeah. Let's go. And Jamie says, see questions in the live chat. Then an hour later, the same person asks the same question on another podcast. And then the same person asks on Sunday morning, the Start and Sit show. It happens, man. It happens. Frizil, what up, homie? He said, going into week 6, 1-4, time for the 360 Chris Jenner makeover. Let's go. It's a fucking great reference. Edwin Tracy's a converted wide receiver. He could have had an even bigger day. Shock DJ. Didn't check down to him that much. This Daniel Jones fucking sucks. We said 2-1 in the red zone. Let's get it. Dak was the first QB to throw an interception to the same team in 2 consecutive days. Let's go. Everyone said David Johnson vibes. Loves those converted wideouts. There we go. Mobbing Too Slick being a Browns fan sucks, man. I believe it, bro. Said Deshaun's terrible, worst trade in history. I don't know if it was the worst trade in history, but the Browns' history forced them to make that trade. Like, that's what sucks, man. That's what sucks. And Moneyline Mills, so that's cash, my guy. Took the first L, 4-1. Maybe still 4-1. You're doing good. Sean said, you in LA? No, I'm not in LA. I was King DLBC, who was talking about being in LA. I used to live in San Diego, but now I'm in Vegas. Yeah, Jamie's a Browns fan too. He feels your pain. Pam in the house. What up, Pam? What's going down? We're about to get into some waivers. I totally stopped recapping the running backs. Bigsby, Swift, Stevenson, Dowdle, Sermon. Can't believe those were the top 5 of the week. Very interesting. Will said, I took the Browns to the Super Bowl this morning, then flushed the toilet. Strangers, the worst trade in history was and is always Babe Ruth to the Yankees. Yeah, Watson is second. I really feel like Trey Lance is one of the worst trades ever. 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance on a team that was a Super Bowl contender, and you gave away your future for someone who ruined your present and ruined your future. Trey Lance definitely needs to be up there. If the 49ers weren't good, it wouldn't matter. But like fucking Super Bowl contenders, man. Bob and Two Slicks just salt in the open wound to see Baker balling in Tampa. All I see is the talent in Houston brought in with our picks. Yeah, it's I would assume being a Browns fan is very similar to being a Chargers fan, but it's like Chargers were like Browns like 2.0. Because, yeah, dude, it's like you see these teams and you see the goodness, but like they can never get anything done. I mean, I guess like I can't relate to the Browns QB like portion of this because, like, I mean, just like the Bears, you know, until now, maybe. Dude, it's like they ruin quarterbacks. Like, how? And they make all the wrong moves with like the quarterbacks. Like, dude, like Baker's last year, where they kept trying to play him while he was hurt. Was that not the most dumb thing like ever? Like, this motherfucker's like got one arm, half of a leg, and like they're still running him out there and running him into the ground. It was so dumb. I was like, if I was Baker, I just wouldn't have even fucking played. Like, what the fuck, dude? They tried to ruin him. Corey in the house. What up? What up? Well, so there's no way. There's so many worse trades than Deshaun Watson trade. I mean, Caleb trade sticks out. So many other football trades. Yeah, dude, the Bryce Young. I mean, well, it's because they got Caleb because of that, right? But yeah, and the Bryce Young they gave up the first overall pick. They didn't know that it was going to be the first overall, but they gave up the first overall pick and they gave up DJ Moore. So, I mean, there was more than that, but like literally, like, dude, fucked up. So yeah, Bryce Young, he's definitely got to be in that mix, like, as well. And the Panthers are just trash, man. And Stranger said Lance at least deserves podium consideration. It definitely has to be somewhere in the top 3. It has to be, because this was a Super Bowl contender that like did this as well. Like that's the other thing that like magnifies it even more. You know, you're Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell, you know, like, I mean, now we're just talking draft picks, not trades, but like these guys actually got drafted to like really, really bad teams, you know, and then they did really, really bad. Like Lance got drafted to a fucking Ferrari. He just needed to like not crash the Ferrari, but he had a Honda Civic engine and blew that shit out. Frizzo, Brees Hall, worth a buy low, or don't even bother trying to get him. It's tough, man, because like I don't know. Like we gotta go look at the schedule, like type thing. But I feel like he's a good buy low candidate. But you being 1-4, I would say just don't even bother trying to get him. Like, here's what you got to do. You got to take one of your better players and trade them for like 3 or 4 starters, like somehow. So you have to find that team that is willing to do that. Like, that's how you come back. I mean, you have a pretty good team, but I feel like you might have to make a move to like make it a little bit better. Mob and 38 starting QB since 1990. I mean, dude, like that's just like, yeah, so we just can't get it right. And like, I'm sure that you or Jamie knows like how many of those QBs were drafted in the first round. And like, they just, you know, just one after another, just like sucking. Hunter, Waddle or Ford, PPR trade, Waddle side. Corbin said A-Rod to the Yanks was terrible. Yeah, I mean, who'd they get? They got Alfonso Soriano, right? Who was balling. But yeah, man, I mean, Texas just couldn't handle that contract, dude. They couldn't handle that contract. It took them a while to get back. I think Watson was the worst football trade because of the combo of the package and the contract. Clowns screwed themselves epically. Yeah, but they got that money. They're going to waste it on someone else anyways. But definitely one of the worst. Definitely one of the worst. And look at how Houston bounced back after making that trade. They cut their losses real quick. And Hall looked horrible. I don't think the Jets are. I mean, yeah, he looked horrible because they're playing against one of the worst. I mean, because they're playing against one of the best defenses in the league. Like, we also have to remember that. I know that there's a lot of people who probably do not respect the Vikings, but like that defense legit might be the best in the league right now. That's no cap. That's no cap. And if you don't think that they're the best in the league, defensive wise, give me a team that you think is better. Because I'm curious who, like, if they're not the best, the Vikings, who's the best defense in the NFL right now? And don't get, and like, if someone's injured and all that, and you're like, when this person comes back, no asterisks. No asterisks. If you have a bunch of injuries on the team, that defense is not the best right now. Corey said, do we sell high on Garrett Wilson? I don't think that anyone's going to buy high on Garrett Wilson, just being honest. He has really bad matchups coming over the next couple weeks, but this is also why we do not like sit guys like Garrett Wilson for trash. Like Wicks, I know that there's people who ask Garrett Wilson or Wicks, and I was saying Wilson because even though it's a bad matchup, I would rather have him and his potential upside than like Wicks, whose upside was probably the week before, you know, and that's probably like the best game that he has all year, you know. Try to want Brees will bounce back. At least I'm hoping just for some bad matchups. Yeah. And yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough. Seawolves said if we lost confidence in Darnold, just chalking up the performance to the travel. Well, chalking up the performance to the travel and going up against the Jets, who are one of the better defenses in the league as well at all three phases. And it's because, I mean, Sauce is one of those reasons why. Brazil said, who are good starting running backs that I can get if I offer Bijan and Mixon? Man, just like, you're not going to get better options like trading those guys. Because first off, nobody's going to trade for Mixon unless we know he's coming back. And then when he comes back, he would actually act really good for you. Bijan sucks, but it's like, this can't continue for him. Like sooner or later, they are going to like fix things with Bijan. Like, look at Henry. Remember how like the first couple weeks, like Henry was doing like real shit. It's like the chemistry of the offensive line, you know, Kirk Cousins and like just all these things that kind of have to mesh. Strand said 3 first rounders and the stupidest contract in NFL history. I mean, here's the thing about like the stupidest contract in NFL history. The Browns are so bad. You cannot get anybody interested in being on your team unless you give stupid contracts. Just like the fucking Jags. Like, dude, remember when they paid Christian Kirk all that money? I think it was like, what, 3 years for like 80 mil or like some shit like that. Or might have even been 4 years for 80 mil. And we're like, dude, this motherfucker, like the guy who's like second or third string on Arizona is about to get like 80 mil from the Jags. And it's because they're so bad and been so bad and nobody wants to play there that you got to give people that kind of money to get like everyone's talking shit about the Trevor money. If I was Trevor, I would not want anything less. Like, dude, fuck the Jags. Like their stupid fucking shitty front office and all that and all the fucking problems, you know, that they got. You better fucking pay me. You better fucking pay me. Because if it's not me, what are you going to do? Going to go draft another person and hope that they're as good as me? Brazil said a healthy Mixon might be better than Bijan at this point. Well, I mean, just because what we saw him do in week 1, you know, I mean, that's kind of all we're going off of, right? And Wilson totally agree about the Vikings in a league where I played team defense. I own them in 90%. Yeah, man. I mean, they were a really good value for sure. And like, they were one of the teams based on week 1. I was like, man, I would just go get a team like this. Like, fucking get them in like the last round. Of course, I'm stressing tonight up by 14 standard league. All he has left in Kamara. My main hope is what you're saying. It's the worst matchup for Kamara he could have. Yeah. And that's just what you got to remember. Like nobody's really gotten off rushing wise against the Chiefs. So you're in a good position, but yeah, 14, that's not a lot, but you said standard league. So not PPR, right? So like you can get fucking 20 catches for all you care. As long as the yardage isn't insane, right? You can get 20 catches for 20 yards, you know, 1 yard a catch. All those catches wouldn't even matter. Flash said my league laughed at me for using my waiver last week on Kraft, and now he's the number 1 in standard scoring. Boom! And who did I say was my favorite tight end to pick up last week? Kraft. Did I know he was gonna throw down 2 touchdowns? Fuck no, but he made me look like a motherfucking genius.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
And I bet there was very, very few people that were talking about Kraft because he was not rostered in a lot of leagues. The matchup wasn't necessarily good. And he hadn't been like balling like that. Like, I mean, the main reason why I liked him was the targets and the snap percentage, not necessarily his production, because the production wasn't there yet. And everybody was all over Luke Musgrave's nuts. And I've been telling people since before this season, Musgrave is not the guy. Trust me. there's so many people like, dude, do you even know football? Like, dude, like they got Musgrave like so early. I'm like, okay, then how come he doesn't play more snaps than another guy who plays the exact same position on his team? And there's never any answer. Like, what do you mean? Like, snap percentage matters. And Brazil, sell high on Bigsby or hold. Man, this one's tough because Bigsby looks fucking good. We see the signs, but it's also like, dude, he could get hurt next week. You know, like anybody could get hurt next week. But like these running backs, it depends on how bad you need them and how much you can get for them. Because if you could get from someone who is super hurting at running backs, if you could get like 3 players for the flavor of the week, like you got to kind of do it. You got to kind of do it. Jamie, I seen a conspiracy that Myles Garrett and Kobe are that Myles Garrett and Kobe are the same person. You know, I could say I've never seen them both in the same place at once. Oh, you know. And Marco said Jags are definitely not my favorite team to go to in Florida. Yeah, right. I mean, shit, they're better than Miami right now. We need Tua back. Come on. Corbin said if Algier was balling, I'd be worried, but he's not. And he said they're using RBs in a scheme right now. And like you said, with Henry, it's going to change for Bijan. Yeah, and we hope it changes sooner rather than later. That's all that we can hope, is that it changes sooner rather than later. Because their line is trash. Like, that's like another thing that's making it worse. It's like their line is straight booty right now. Brazil, I sat JSN for Wicks, started Leggett. Thank God Devonta Smith's coming back soon. Yeah, injuries suck to guys like that. Marco said, don't lie. The entire year you're rooting for Luke Musgrave. No, I was not. And Corbin said Kraft is a better blocker as well. And I think that's why, like, he plays more snaps than him and is because he's a better blocker. But I think Luke Musgrave just showed he's very mid. He's very average, you know, and like Kraft is average too, and he could block. So it's like, why am I going to just take this guy like off the field to bring in this guy who like catches just as good as the guy who blocks way better than him also? Perry said sell Brian Thomas Jr. And I will say Musgrave looked better than Kraft last year, but has clearly changed this year. Yeah, and I mean, it was only better in spurts, but I think it was because Kraft wasn't getting as much of an opportunity to catch the ball. And Will said it was where the Kraft overtook Musgrave in a heartbeat. Well, see, that's the thing, though. He didn't overtake him in a heartbeat. If you guys have been listening to me, he's had more snaps than him all year, and there was only, I think, 1 game that Musgrave actually out-targeted him. So, like, but yeah, and he said nobody noticed it. Well, almost nobody. Yeah, and it's because guys like me, I got to dive deeper for you guys. You know, that's just what it is, man. We got to dive deep. All these other scrubs, like they go for the surface level, low hanging fruit and all that. And like to the casuals, you know, they'll eat that shit up. But, you know, you guys know where to come for the real news and real advice. Hell yeah. Oh, he said, I meant sell Brian Thomas Jr. as a question. I think no. Well, he's probably not talking about Dynasty. Yeah, if you're talking about Dynasty, Perry, definitely don't do that. I'm assuming you're talking about redraft. I don't think I would. He's emerging, man. He's emerging, and he was one of those guys that I said be on the lookout for offensive rookie of the year, because I don't think it's going to be a Dunze with fucking 2 people in front of him at the same exact position. I don't think it's going to be Neighbors because of Danny Pesos, you know. And I said if there's anybody who I think, and Marvin Harrison Jr., I was like, of course he's going to be in the mix. I said, if there's anybody who would be like kind of like an outside shot, it would be Brian Thomas Jr. And it's because, like, look, they got rid of Ridley. They throw it a lot over there. Like, even though they have ETN, like, they don't like run like an extreme, like, they don't run like some kind of insane amount to where they're not throwing the ball an insane amount. And you saw it from week 1, man. Trevor really likes Brian Thomas Jr. He almost had 2 touchdowns in that opening game, but it was a 60-yard pass interference in the end zone from Jalen Ramsey that stopped that from happening. He would have got that. Like, dude, people would be all over his nuts right now because that would have been in week 1. Took him a while to come around to him, though. And Jamie said, you see the Jabril Pepper news? Yeah, okay. Let me go look at this. Totally forgot about that. Let me go find it. Oh, no way. Real quick first. Dax Hill. They fear that he's torn his ACL and is going to be done for the season. Okay, now here's the Jabril Pepper news. And this was 2 hours ago, give or take. Breaking: Patriot safety Jabril Peppers was arrested early Saturday morning in Braintree. Police say that he was charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, strangulation, and possession of a Class B substance. I wonder what the Class B substance was. But dude, Jabril Peppers, man. So hopefully we get some more news soon. But dude, Jamie, thanks for bringing that up. This happened. I saw the news while I was like taking a dump or something this morning when I woke up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, Pepper is getting fucking wild right now. He misses a game and then wilds out. Dude. And Strange said I ended up mostly being right about the Moss versus Brown. And yes. And they said technically Moss got more snaps because of the blocking, but Brown had more carries on Sunday, has more yards. Yes. And like literally that little bit of insight made me tell a handful of people to start Moss over Chase Brown and to just start Chase Brown in general. Moss got 8 points. Chase Brown got 16 points. And like, even though it was an amazing game, 16 points in the fantasy football world for someone who probably was desperate for even 10 points. I mean, everybody's loving it, man. Made me look like a goddamn genius.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
And Will said Musgrave is the Big Show. Kraft is the Undertaker. Big Bando. You think Dowdle and Bigsby will be what? Tradable after this week, possibly? I mean, everybody needs running backs. Like, most people are really hurting for running backs. You know that. And Marco said Musgrave had 7 targets, caught 5 of them for 22 yards. Man, that's so ugly. 5 for 22. Ugly. Also, would you trade Mooney for Devontae Adams? I feel like I would. It's also like Mooney's doing so good, man. So good. Next incoming, Kelsey. Will said, my rookie draft, I got both neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr. Happy with the results so far. Yeah. Man, I have so much Brian Thomas Jr. And it was like, it sucked when I started like wavering a little bit from him. Like, damn, do I really want to get him on like all these dynasties? And I started getting some Keon Coleman, some Xavier Worthies and all that. And man, I just should have went with my first thought and just got Brian Thomas Jr. everywhere in the late first round. Jamie said last year that the Musgrave Kraft situation could be similar to Hurst and Andrews. That's why I skipped Musgrave in the 3rd and got Kraft for free in the late 4th. Yeah. And for me, it was a situation I wanted to avoid because of that bullshit altogether. But I also don't play in a lot of leagues where there's a tight end spot, because most of the leagues I play in, I commission, and I've already got rid of the fucking tight end spot. Like, dude, it's a joke, man. And now you're going to see all these, analysts, who don't commission any leagues or like anything like that. They're going to like start giving you the advice on shit like that. Yeah. And Corbin said Javonte season. Oh, why Javonte season? What happened? What did he do? $16 points. Solid. Barry said, I just found out yesterday that Bobby Wagner was on the Commandos, and I followed NFL free agency heavy. Can't believe I missed it. Bro, where were you at? Where were you at? Man, Because I've been talking up Bobby Wagner this whole fucking offseason, man, ever since he went to the Commandos. Will said Jordan Battle season. No, because Dax Hill got moved to cornerback. Jordan Battle's not going to play cornerback. Oh, Juggernaut said they said it was cocaine. Okay. Marco said weed is a class B substance. Is it? Hey, JD, what up, bro? Brazil said Tank Dell a sleeper since Collins dealing with the hamstring. I don't know about a sleeper. I think like a lot of that would be like the low-hanging fruit for a lot of people. I would try to go get him if he's available because someone dropped him.
Pick him up.
But he's probably not even available. They said, bro, New England is not the place to be doing that. What a dumbass. Yeah, for sure. Jamie said, shout out to Bone Thugs for not attending the Diddy parties, right? And Stranger said 160, only 160. JD had a chance of winning the week against Cousins. Swoop Flacco started him. Then Jamar Chase happened. Oh, and then I lost. Yeah, it's tough. Try to one Mooney going to be a flex play. Feel like it, right? And Watt said Mooney for Adams this early. Well, he's talking about trading away Mooney to get Adams. Marco said, what's the difference between assault and battery? I don't know. I know assault and battery is a lot worse than just assault, though. Big Bando ship Mooney more of a flex play at this point. Well, I mean, Adams isn't playing. He's not going to play till next week. So it's more like buying on the opportunity of like Adams and where you could potentially go. Got to give props to my man Roshan, 2 TDs. Hey, Roshan's killing it, bro. Making you look like a genius, Jamie.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Jason in the house. What up, bro? And Wilson, where the fuck was Tank Dell yesterday? Sure, am I right, man? Dude, the ghost. He was a ghost out there. Weed is not a class B. It's America. Tough week. Man, what happened? Crooner said, should I trade Reed for Evans? Nah, I'm going to hold. I don't want to trade a wide receiver for a wide receiver. You know why? Because there's a 50% chance that you're right and a 50% chance that you're wrong. I would like to get better odds in my favor. Corbin said assault is a threat. Getting in someone's face, talking shit. Okay, battery is the physical attack, I believe. Okay. I don't know about that, but let's see. I'm just going to type it in Google. What's the difference between assault and battery? Seeing someone else, I said, what's the difference of ass? And the whole thing came up. Okay, main difference between assault and battery is whether physical harm was actually inflicted. The act of assault, the act of causing someone to reasonably fear imminent harm. That means the fear is something reasonable person would foresee. Threatening them, you don't actually follow through. Okay, yep, you're 100% right. Yep, and then battery is the actual physical. There we go. Perfect. Glad we have glad we have some street lawyers in the chat here. But yep, there you go. 100% right, Corbin. Wow, what up, bro? Said just scored the most points I ever had last week. Had Chase, Burrow, Denver defense, Swift, Hubbard. Said Kamara tonight, and I have Travis yet to go. Woo, killing it, bro. Killing it. And Jason said Tank is now actually seeing less snaps, and he's getting swapped for 21 personnel. He isn't. He isn't in the horrible. Yeah. Now you said it right. Battery is the physicalness, the physical harm. Yeah, armed apex assaults having the intent. Yeah, yep, threatening him, all that. Because it seems like when you assault someone, that would be some actual physical harm, like as well. At least that's what I, assumed and would assume. Watt also had Joker as a defender. Joker killed it, bro. The article I looked at was for the UK. Weed seems to be a class B substance. Nose powder is class A. Oh, okay. Candy makes you dandy. Okay. Let's see. Top wide receivers on the week: Chase, London, Mooney, Higgins, Garrett Wilson. Dude, Garrett Wilson, top 5. DJ Moore right there. Darius Slayton right below him. Brian Thomas right below him. What's it? Careful nowadays. You call someone a what? A soy boy? What's that? They might consider that assault. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's why I just stay home and smoke weed, man. I don't really want to go be around a bunch of people. Because, yeah, motherfuckers start getting drunk and stupid shit starts happening. It's so annoying. And Marco the Energizer Buzzy got arrested. He was charged with battery. Hey, yo. And Pam said, I hear that. Yeah, right. Fuck everybody. Man, yeah, I don't want to get in. It's always the drunk people. Like, that's what it is. Like, if it was like a weed event or something, like, no one's out there just assault and battery. It's not happening. But, man, every time this drunk motherfuckers, like, this makes it worse. Basically, soy boy's a wannabe man. So funny. Typical liberal in Canada. Okay, I did not understand, but now it makes more sense. Why this is what cops do. They look for a reason to arrest you. Never talk to the cops. Yeah, they aren't your friends. Of course not. Do what 100% of lawyers would advise you to do. Keep your mouth shut. Yeah, Marco's so dumb. That's actually good again. Yeah. Yep, stranger will. That's why I stick to the classics. I call assholes. Not a hate crime, right? Dude, like, that's what's crazy, man. Is like, man, anything could be considered a hate crime, you know? And so it's like, yeah, but I call you an asshole. You're just an asshole. Got no real coke for me. I used to cut it baby laxative, which I'd take a massive shit rather than die, right? Oh, man, this shit's scary, dude. I know at least one person that OD'd off of fentanyl. Not someone that I was particularly close with at the time when it happened. The guy actually turned into a real psycho, and probably because of so much nose candy. And dude, this shit sucks, man. This shit sucks. Fentanyl's like the worst fucking thing out there, dude. Freedom of speech trumps almost everything in court. Yeah. But I think it's like the freedom of speech that's like, you know, that's considered assault or like shit like that. Jake has to hate being called asshole. Hurts my feelings. Marco, watch the movie Mean Machine. That's where you get to know the difference between assault and drunken assault. I'd rather not, but dude, I know this person who like went out to a bar with this friend. Like literally, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if these guys were roommates or if they're just like really good friends. They go out to a bar, get hammered, start getting into a drunken fight. And like the dude that I know fucking did so much assault and battery that like he ended up getting 5 years in prison, like because of it. Just two guys going out to the bar ended up like turning into a prison sentence. It's fucking crazy, man. And Jason, should I drop Rashad White for Bigsby? Real dilemma. Potentially. Is Rashad White literally the last guy on your bench? It's a sports movie comedy, a remake of The Longest Yard, but not with football. Not throw ball. Oh, but with football. Come on, man. Football. Come on. We're classy enough to know what football is, okay? Remember Rafi in the league? It's like the first or second episode when he was in there. He's like, dude, my fantasy football team, like killing it right now. And they're like, wait, football hasn't started. And like, wait, you talking about soccer? Dude, only assholes call it soccer, okay? Rafi's so funny. And Lude, he said, hey, you were right. You were right about them not actually benching Stevenson. Well, see, and that's where all the verbiage, comes into play. You got to understand this language that we call coach speak. And was I right? Was I right, Lude? Gotta understand the coach speak. It is legit. It's legit another language. Legit another language. And Jason, I got Dell, White, Mostert, and Evan Ingram on the chopping block for Ingram. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of tough, right? Because like A-Chain got hurt, so now Mostert might come into more work. Nico got hurt, so now Dell might come into more work. I probably would drop Rashad White. I probably would drop him. Marco said there is a podcast named, it's called Soccer. What? Like literally just soccer? Not even soccer podcast? I mean, on the chopping block for Bigsby. Yeah, I mean, when everything actually comes back, he'll be decent. I mean, that's what sucks is like, I don't know your tight end sitch. If your tight end's good, fuck Evan Ingram. But everyone's tight end situation kind of sucks. At least is what I assume. All right. Dude, Chef, I literally brought you up this morning. You're the one who like got me to waiver and say Deontay Johnson, right? Dude, I totally brought you up this morning. And I was like, yeah, like sometimes if I got a gut feeling about something, it just is what it is. But dude, he said, I don't know if you remember me, but I sat Johnson. There we go. So he ended up listening to my original thought anyways. He said, and started Ayuk and then won my week by 7 points. Boom. I could not remember for the life of me who it was between. And because I literally thought of that. Like after seeing Ayuk, I'm like, damn, I was right about Ayuk. And I was like, remember that one guy who like was Deontay Johnson or Ayuk? Because I remember certain starting sits, like they sit in my brain, especially if I talk about it more and more. It's like just more locked into my brain. So I remember that specifically. He said, I started to think about it logically. Man, I'm glad you did, because that's a funny story. Because if you would have came in here and you would have been like, bro, I started Deontay Johnson and I lost, that would have been shitty. So like, this is a way better version of the story. Bakes, what up, my brother? What's going down? And Jason said, I picked up Tucker Craft Saturday to drop Ingram. Hey, man, shit. And you played him? Boom. In there like swimwear. Let's get it. All right. Well, you see Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs change at the end of the game. Definitely some hate going on there. Subtle, but it's still there. Bills blew that game with their play calling at the end for sure. For sure. And JD said I tied for first and second place, losing by 1.5 points. Hasn't swooped group. Do I take him as a dick move? Stay number one. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. So this is how you play defense on the waivers, man. Said, remember Stevenson, can't believe how much I hate Jared Mayo now. Bro, all you had to do is just listen to me. You don't remember me like talking about Stevenson? I told so many people to still start him over different options. Like, I wouldn't say start Stevenson over like some insane option, but my analysis on the Steven situation was perfect. I read the coach speak, or I heard the coach speak exactly. Dissected it for you guys and told you what was going to happen. And I was actually 100% right, like about it. Didn't know he was going to do this good. But it was a great matchup nonetheless. But yeah, that's why you guys got to be here. That's why you guys got to be here. Because all these other peeps giving you the low-hanging fruit only. They're just not doing the type of research that I am. And it's not even like I'm doing insane fucking research. It's all these fucking people with the crazy advanced analytics and like all that shit. Like That's what confuses people. Like all these advanced analytics, I swear to God, is just to make certain cases to start and sit fantasy football players. I swear. And then also I have ETN. Not sure what I'm going to do with him either. Yeah, I mean, you don't drop him or anything. That's for sure. Corbin, what happened to Devo? Is he still nursing the calf? He didn't really get much. Let me go see if we got snap percentages on that. Because I'm curious what kind of snaps he's even running right now. Because, yeah, I don't think he's at 100%, but also haven't dissected any of the numbers any farther than what he's actually got. I mean, he played 81% of the snaps. That doesn't scream super injured to me. Jamie said the pro analysis had Deontay top 10, but I sat him for Brian Thomas because fuck him. Yeah, exactly, man. Like, why the fuck would Deontay Johnson be top 10 against a team that's giving up bottom 3, numbers to the wide receivers? Like, no fucking idea. It said the podcast name is just called Soccer. It said no clue if it's any good. I mean, hey, if you like soccer, it might be. Chef said either way, I started Jaden Reed, McLaurin, Ayuk, which played out perfectly. Boom. Boom. Let's get it. What did Crispy say? Oh, starting a petition. Taco Bell needs training on rolling a tortilla. Well, it's because they don't want the weed smokers in there, bro. Like, that's the problem. Like, who would roll a better tortilla than some weed smokers? That's where they be fucking up. That's where they're fucking up. Fuck Taco Bell. All right. Okay. Before I do this, all right. Before we get into this, let me close out some of this shits here in the background. I did not do any of the research or anything yet, so I'm going to be doing that kind of like right now. But, I mean, Tank Bigsby is definitely the biggest low-hanging fruit there. And look at this. Tank Bigsby last week, 11% rostered. I said last week that he was the guy to pick up. I mentioned him right after I mentioned Jeremy McNichols because I wanted to take the victory lap. Craziness. I hope people listened because that rostership doubled. A little bit more than doubled, and now he's going to be the #1 waiver wire. And that's why guys got to fuck with me here. Pause, because I give you these guys weeks early than everybody else. And if you really needed someone and you picked up Tank last week, dude, now you might be able to sell that person for a top 10. Sell Bigsby for top 10, RB value because people are going to be all over his nuts right now. And who do they play this week? Oh, yeah, they play Chicago, right? Yeah. And they're at the Bears. And Bake said the problem with that is the potheads would end up eating a burrito instead of giving it to the customer. Taco Bell would be bankrupt in a week. Man, come on, dude. You know how much a burrito costs them? Probably cost them 10 cents. Who gives a fuck? All you got to do is sell enough burritos. And Marco said, I got Bigsby and wafers. Nice. Was it because you had a lot of shitty options and you needed him? Or did you just have the foresight to go get him? I don't plan many redrafts, but the 10 I do, I play Bigsby isn't even on the waivers. Yeah, for sure. Because a lot of them got him last week, man. The savvier leagues picked him up last week. They weren't waiting until this week. Bigsby is a shiny new toy of the week for sure, man. Flavor of the week. Flavor of the week. We always got him. Let's see. Got Bigsby in the 32. Man. Every time you bring up the 32, it makes me want to go check my team. I'm catching the dub. Feeling good. Feeling good. I got Bucky. I got Derrick Henry, Akers, Rodgers, Demarcus Robinson, Levante David. Oh, how about my Justin Schnad? 18 points. Let's go. Let's go. 18 points. Spot on, baby. Spot on. Xavier Woods. He still got me 12. I should have played Riley Moss because, man, told you guys about Riley Moss, the white cornerback, bro. He got his first NFL INT this week, right after I shouted him out. Like, dude, you can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. Only rostered in like 0% of leagues also. Oh, yeah. Who are the bye weeks this week? Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, Vikings. Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, Vikings. Right. All right. All right. Marcos, I got him a month ago. Dropped Gibson for him. Nice. Nice. Marco, what do you do with an inactive manager in the Wafers League? Well, first we reach out to them to see if just make sure, like, are you paying attention, like anything? And when we reach out, the people usually pay attention or whatever. Like last year, like I was gonna kick someone out. I was like, let me just reach out. And the dude got COVID. And he was like, oh, sorry, bro. Like I had COVID the last couple weeks, but I'm good. I'll set everything. So that is usually just reaching out. But if you guys see anybody who's inactive in the wafers, please just let me know. Let me know what league and let me know the username. And we'll reaching out is the first step. And Tony wants to thanks for the Derek Hall. Played him 23 points. Let's fucking go. There we go. Versus picking someone else up, right? Because I was nervous about starting him, but I didn't want to but in that case specifically, I wouldn't want to outright like drop him or whatever. And Derek even played him like as well. When I was saying potentially the other guy, but it's not like Derek Hall's going away. He was like, fuck it, I'm just going Derek Hall then. There we go. But left with a foot injury. Hey, at least he went out on a fucking, went out on a 20 plus point game. All right. So Bigsby, that's for sure the low hanging fruit of the week. Let's see. People might be on the Jeremy McNichols hype train again. Still got 7 touches. Who do they play in week 6? Baltimore. That's not that good of a matchup. All right. Chris said, doesn't matter. Wafers is mine. Man, I need my team to pick it up. Dude, Trey Sermon's only 52% rostered. That's crazy. We'll throw him on there just in case then. Who does Indy play next week? Titans. Roshan, man. Back-to-back solid games. We'll throw him on there. We got to figure out how to get at least a few names on this list here. Play Jags at home. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Tyrone Tracy. Sucked that we didn't know that that Singletary wasn't going to play last week, because I definitely would have put him on the video had I known that. But we didn't get that news till like Thursday or Friday. Mark Alaskan Thunderfuck last time I played against start 3 inactive guys, didn't want to seem they made any moves all the time the last few weeks. Well, can you do me a favor? Can you just message me on Facebook? Just remind me, just tell me the number. Because I don't have it written down what theme is each league, but just tell me the number. I can find it really quickly. And then if you can tell me who's been inactive, like that would just help me like get to those people quicker. JD, everyone go out and pick up Kohler, the savior of the Ravens tight end. Insert sarcasm here. Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck? And Corbin said, can we safely say it's time to start Patrick Queen? Yes. Yes, I would say it's safe. Especially with the bye weeks and shit that we got coming up. Yeah. Third one. If Hunt can get me 25 points, I should be able to bounce back in the waivers on his bye week. Should have a better squad. He said, at least that's what I'm hoping for. Let's fucking go. Let's get it. What up, Russell? Said, what up, Hustler? I would receive Aaron Jones, Kittle, and Cup. Would you give up Mark Andrews and DK? Probably. I mean, I'm a little nervous about Aaron Jones and his hip issue, though. Okay. All right. Let me see. Anybody else that I could mention here? I guess I got one if you're hella desperate. Yeah, who the hell did they play this week? Pittsburgh. Ooh, tough. All right. Hang on. And filming a full PPR single QB league. I have JD Allen, sold DJ Moore and Allen for Deontay Johnson and Chase Brown. Of course, DJ went off, but I think I got the good end of the deal. I don't think he did. I mean, anything could happen. I probably would have advised against that trade for a few different reasons, but man, it's so ugly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damn. Looking at Kareem Hunt's rostership percentage, he went up last week. He was at 36%. Now he's at 77%. Justice Hill, 31%. He didn't do that good though, huh? Nope. Justin, what up, homie? What's going down, bro? All right. All right, running backs good. Charlie one. So what about Darius Slayton? Who saw that? I mean, I know Derek did, and I know I did. I wasn't talking about him that much until we knew that Neighbors was going to be out. But yeah, like who knew he was going to finish top fucking 10, right? All right. Almost got the running back portion ready. Damn, I gotta go. Man. Yeah, the research part of this is just what takes long. Phil said Deontay will go back to eating more. DJ 100%. If Deontay gets traded, he's not going to get traded though. Like, there's no way he gets traded. Well, I'm not saying there's no way, but like, he's not going to get traded. All right. Let's see. Who the hell do the Texans play this week? Patriots. All right. Tucker and Jay Saints activated him for the practice squad today. Not that I've seen. Will totally called Slayton, picked him up, played him over JSN. If you look at the numbers last year, end of the year. Yeah, with no Malik. Marco went upstairs to get my other tablet, found out that my sister forgot her crusher here. And there's still some weed left in there. Since I don't have to burn my own. There we go. Pam said if Thielen stayed healthy, it would have been more possible. Yeah, I think so. All right. Okay, got the running back waivers. All right. I guess we're just going to try to mark down as much as I can. Dude, how can I still leave Darnell Mooney on this list? He's still not over 50% rostered. Dude, how? Ooh, but they play at Carolina. And yeah, Wandale Robinson, but I haven't even started him once yet. See room kind of stacked. His performance yesterday, his value only continues to go up. What RB you think I can get for him? Well, you need to go see who needs a wide receiver pretty badly. So go scout your league, go see who needs a wide receiver. Then you see what running backs they have, and then then tell me those running backs. Bam, what's wrong with people? I have no idea. People are crazy. I got my own stuff homegrown from a friend of mine. Nice. Yeah, and see now though, Darius Slayton goes back to like nothing. Assuming Neighbors plays. Guess maybe I should put him on there though. If there's been trade talk lately with him, not sure if it would happen, but either they want to get trade value for an older receiver. I don't think it's out of the question by no means. I mean, if they didn't bring him over this year, like I would say that, but yeah, I feel like they think that he's a part of their future because, yeah, like how old actually is he? Yeah, he's 28. He's not ancient. Third one, Flacco over the bum to the moon, Alice. Let's get it. All right. Been partying too much today. It's almost been 2 hours and I haven't started the waivers. I told myself today that I was going to try to do a better job on starting the waivers quicker. I failed. Will said Deshaun Watson QB rating 8.5 yesterday. Horrible. Man, there's some guys I can't even believe that I'm going to be fucking mentioning. Shit's getting real grim out here. If Pam says 9:30 where you are, how can you be a failure? At that hour, you got this. Well, I'm just saying, like, because it's going to take now an hour or so, maybe more than that, to do the waivers. So, and now I got to edit the videos. That's all. I'm just saying I failed on starting quicker than I wanted to. Man, I can't believe De'Ami Brown did that shit. So fluky. Yeah, it's super ugly right now. And Mickey said Wandale, Rashad White for Hubbard. Nah. Or either Connor. Yeah, Connor might be a little bit better. So last night had me asleep at halftime, woke up, didn't miss much. Yeah, I didn't even go live. I didn't even go live last night because I was already so tired. I was like, man, yeah, fuck it. Tucker one, if you pick the Chiefs to win, you'll be a failure. Savage Jeremy Singletary gonna lose his job while sitting on the bench. Oh man.
That was stupid. How the hell you gonna get fired on your day off?
You got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
Marco said tired or stoned. Well, both, of course. Let's see. Anybody else to mention here? All right, let's see. Ooh. Yeah, the rain delay. Yeah, messed up everything. Savage Jeremy Tank Bigsby, man. Tank Bigsby's doing solid. Had a watch party here last night. We got fried before the game. Had to get refried when the game actually started. Right. JD, you're right about Wandale. He had a decent day, but Slayton was the play. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Team started guarding him differently. All right, let me see. How many guys I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, not too bad. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 running backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide receivers. Okay, let me look at the tight ends. Man, I'm assuming it's very loose again. Dude, Tucker Craft 4% rostered last week. 62% rostered this week. Let's see. T Mooney trade worthy. TJ Hawkins, Kincaid is a disappointment. I mean, if you don't need him. Dude is so ugly at tight end. I got a real sneaky one for you, though, this week. This one's extra sneaky. It's only 1% rostered. I need Kamara to get 40 to win by 1/10 of a percentage point to stay undefeated in Yahoo. Let's get it. Let's get it. Corbin's, I got Higbee coming back. See, I'm hoping Goddard plays here. Decent. I don't need a lot, but it started out in last week. Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. It's all bad. It's all bad for these guys. And you know how bad it is? That Otten is still going to be on this list because there's like nobody. Yeah, you guys are gonna like this sneaky one, this sneaky tight end. Make sure you hang around for this. It's crazy how nobody like the tight end waiver wire video was the weakest last. There was not even I don't even think there was 100 views on it. Every other video that I had a lot. Yeah, surprised because everybody's hurting that tight end. Every RB got fed a little in Washington. Yeah, definitely. What up, Fantasy Dog? He said number one. Said, let me up here, dog. Just listen, though. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Tired of one Jeremy McNichols worth of grabbers. He a flavor of the week type guy. He's a waiver of the week type guy, like flavor last week, but he's gonna be on my waiver wire list. It just depends on your level of desperation. Yeah, let me see. I only have 2 tight ends. Oh yeah, let's check this guy. Chef Rand said, bro, Brees and A Chains losing me many matchups. Man, that's rough, dude. It's rough. Yeah, it's almost like I gotta talk about I got to talk about Charlie. It's crazy. All right. Dang, it's still, you know what? Really tough matchup. I just thought of a real funny insert for the tight end video. You guys might not even get the reference, but it'll be in there. Okay. No, Marco, he's not. He's not my. That's not my sneaky pick. No. Andre says, is there anything worse in fantasy than losing a kicker? Probably playing with a kicker. That might be worse. Toker one, if you've been to a Diddy party, you don't get a tight end. No. Very loose. Very loose around there. That's for sure. Man, this shit's ugly, dude. Two of the tight ends I'm going to talk about are 0% rostered. This is ugly. So ugly. Losing to a QB Neo beats everything. Dude, I've been on both ends of that as well. Oh, here we go. Totally forgot about this guy. Where the fuck did he go? Okay. JD5 going to win some leagues. Yep. Mondo says one of them strange. I'm going to put him on there. Yes, but also comes with the asterisk. If Evan Ingram comes back, then Strange is like, that was my sneaky tight end pick this past like Sunday was Strange. Gets the touchdown. But a lot is going to be predicated on him, on Ingram not playing. And it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. Dude, did he? Jonnu got 8 targets. Oh, they're on bye. That's why I wasn't looking at them. Yeah, crazy. 5 receptions for 62. Like, where did he even finish? Oh, there he is. JD5 keeps consistency up. People that waited on QB are smashing this year. Yeah, for sure. Tired of one I was in the preseason form now. Let's start. Yeah, there we go. Brevin Spanford. No. Good guess though. Shoemaker, one of them. No, I don't think anybody is gonna guess this. I really don't. Not the super sneaky one. Sean said, I think I have a team where some superstars, but no bench guys with any trade value. Got to build the trade value through the waivers like that. And I know it's easier said than done, but I mean, that's where you got to build, man, through the waivers. 4, 5, 6. Huh. Still have 6 tight ends to talk about. Still very loose, though. Like I said, very, very loose. All right, let me mark down the QBs and then team defense, and we're jumping into this. I got to try to rapid fire. I really got to try to rapid fire. What the hell? I can't believe the first guy who I'm going to be able to get on the list. Because, of course, these have to be for single QB league numbers. Or percentages, I mean. Logan McCall, what up? New follower on Twitch. Toker 1, maybe. Logan said, trade Connor, McConkey, and Eckler for Kamara. I have Thomas Jr., Lamb Hill. I'd be okay with that. You might not like Connor. I mean, you might not like Kamara after this week. I don't think it's going to be a really good game against the Chiefs. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this QB that I have to talk about. Can't believe it's this grim that I have to talk about. Still crazy, some of the rostership percentages. No, Russell, not Bo Nix. Definitely not. Let's see. There's 3 QBs. Yeah, what sucks, man? Joe Flacco. Let's even see how much he got rostered in. Only rostered in 8% of leagues. Man, they better play Flacco over Richardson. They're not going to, though. Third one this season's going to teach me IDP life. There's a lot of trial and error on my part, but next year I should get more either boom or bust with them, just lack of experience with it. Yeah, it's a little bit tough. And trust me, you're not the only one. There's multiple people who are like, fuck, I could just never get it right. I never pick the person right. Sounds like you think I should trade for Nick Chubb? What type of player should I trade? I mean, you got to see who, I mean, if that person really needs, what's it called? If they really need wide receivers or not. Yeah, they would look way better with Flacco. Let me see. 4. Oh, you know what? We're going to get real sneaky with one of them. A 0% rostered guy. Rex Burkhead. Dude, you know me too well. You know me too well. Guy's a stud. All right. Okay, now let me order these guys. All right. Quarterbacks is going to be so ugly this week. All right. Defense and special teams, and then I'm ready. And I got to try to do this fast. Dude, this first one's fucking crazy. Marco, who's your number one kicker this week? I don't know. It's a good question. Sean Washington kicker has been a great waiver pickup. You were just fucking with me because I don't talk about kickers. All right, Mondo, so you got this Huss. I'm about to smoke a fatty. Let's get it. About to power through these. Not Moody, another injury for the Niners. Dude, they're cursed, man. They are cursed. There's actually a few decent matchups here. Not necessarily for the best defenses, but, we're playing the matchups just as much as we're playing these guys. I'd rather not smoke for a week than talk about kickers. Yeah. Yeah. Give or take. All right. Let me see. How many is that's 4 teams? Is Washington on bye this week? No, they're not. Where the hell are they? I want to see what Washington did last week because they were one of my dart throw defenses. Dude, they got 13 points last week. Here's all my defenses from last week. So Commandos got 13 points. Patriots are only 3% rostered last week. They got 10 points. Yeah, Broncos was definitely a hit. I think they were too much last week to be to make the list. rostered in too many leagues. Colts weren't good. Let's see. Green Bay got 13 points. Seattle got 11 points. Oh, yeah, Denver was on there. They were my number one. They were only 16% rostered last week. Denver was a huge hit. They were so far down on my list, but it's because they were like my pickup of the week. Hey, Bob in the house. What up, bro? Yeah, now they're 81% rostered. Dude, that means 4 out of the 5 defenses I told people to pick up last week scored over 10 points. Dude, Washington and Green Bay were 5 and 6. Seattle was number 7. So wait, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude, 4 out of the 5 defenses that I said last week finished 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 out of the 5 defenses that I picked last week finished inside the top 7. Dude, you can't make this shit up. We're just hitting just week after week. All right, hold up. Denver, Washington, Green Bay, Seattle. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 5 of them finished inside the top 11. So 5 out of the 6 that I had. Only one of the picks that I had last week out of 6 was bad. McKinney's a terror, bro. 5 INTs in 5 games, averaging 1 a game. Dude, he's so good. Toyota One said, and you hate team defense, but you're good at picking them. Am I right? And I've even said it. It's not that I hate team defense necessarily. I hate the point structure for a lot of team defense. Like, I don't think that a defense should score more than some fucking quarterback score, you know, when the quarterbacks actually do somewhat decent. Yeah, I hate team defense, and but I pick them good. Dude, that's pretty fucking crazy that I picked 5 defenses last week that anybody could go pick up pretty much. And there's 6. I picked 6 defenses last week that anyone could go pick up, and 5 of them finished with double-digit points, and 4 of them finished inside the top 7. Like, that's pretty insane. Or maybe it's just because you got me for help from the future. Hey, Marco, don't tell nobody. He said if Flacco didn't have a fumble, lost, and had won the game, they'd have a harder time benching Richardson. Well, yeah. Andre said thoughts on Marv through the first 5 weeks. I think he's kind of doing a little bit better than I expected him to early. I think he's an amazing route runner. Him and Kyler got some good chemistry. And I don't know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer like his pops, but if he can stay injured, he's going to be a terror. Like over these first couple years, like imagine like when he actually starts getting like NFL good. I feel like he's still like riding the wave of being like super elite college, you know. But like once you get through your first year of being a pro, you learn so much more, like so much more because of that first year. And then like I'm assuming the type of off-season stuff that he's going to be doing is going to be, you know, like I'm sure his pops is going to be, you know, helping him with some different off-season like type of routines and stuff, you know, certain things that are going to get him just way better. So yeah, I know you said like through first 5 weeks, but he's doing better than I thought he was going to do for sure. So we're thinking he'll explode later on in the season. I think he's going to do a lot better. He said, should have said something, not so me. All right. Okay. All right. Let me get this ready. I'm going to jump into this. Let's see if I can knock all this out in an hour. Okay. And actually, let me get some water. I'm going to do a lot of talking. So give me one quick sec. I'll be all right back. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wait. This is tough. I'm not sure how I want to label these guys for this week. All right. Got my 5 team defenses for the week. All right, let me see. I think I'm going to start with running backs first. I think we're going to go running backs, wide receivers, and then team defense. Braylon Allen still a stash. Yeah. Another Bigsby week. ETN scaring me. I mean, Bigsby just broke off the big ones, man. Like, we got to give props when guys do stuff like that. There we go. All right. Here we go. What up? What up? Waiver wire week 6 edition. We're got the running backs in this video. If it's your first time here, subscribe, hit the like, check out all the other waiver wire videos. I break down every single position in their own video. Let's get down to biz. Last week I gave you some hitters. We got 8 RBs to talk about right now. I start from very, very desperate. Guys who, if you are in deeper leagues and you really, really need, those guys will be there kind of at the front. And then we're going to save my favorite ones for the end. So make sure you stick around towards the end. Here we go. Now I'm starting off with the lowest of the low-hanging fruit right here. Trey Sermon. He's 52% rostered. So if he is somehow available, go pick him up.
Pick him up.
Probably should have picked him up last week. It is what it is, though. They're going up against the Titans, not necessarily the best matchup, and they are coming off of a bye. But Trey Sermon, if he's available, go pick him up. Probably not, but 52% rostered. Hopefully he is. Go snatch him. Sean said, can you give us advice on how much waiver wire budget to spend? I have 72 left for the end of the season. Want to get Bigsby. So someone asked this earlier. I said, you legit should be spending like 60 to 75% of that budget, because a guy like Bigsby might not come up again. What if he ends up taking the reins? What if he ends up just being a guy who ends up being this 50-50 split, you know, who could just crack off a big one at any time? And you know everybody's going to be going for him. So I'll make sure to throw that in when I talk about him. These next 2 running backs, kind of only pickups if you're super desperate, starting with Cam Akers. Joe Mixon probably going to come back this week, but we're still not 100%. He only got in 1 limited practice last week. So if he comes in and gets any kind of full practice throughout this week, Joe Mixon, that is, Cam Akers, not really going to be playable, but someone who you may just need for bench depth. I mean, pretty solid game, over 12 points in this past week. Nothing amazing, but he got into the end zone, and that's really all that we can ask for with some of these dart throw flexes. And then the other half of the Texans backfield that's been holding it down since Mixon's been out is Dare. So if you dare, he's only 1% rostered. So, I mean, readily available. Mixon comes back. Dare's not going to be really utilized that much. But if I had to pick one of the two, like which guy is going to get used more when Mixon comes back, I'm going to say it's going to be Agumbawale. And he's the one who's only rostered in 1% of leagues. So even if Mixon comes back, I feel like Dare is still going to be the guy that you could roster as a potential flex guy, even with Mixon back. But still, these guys in the beginning, they're my desperation guys. Here is another super desperation guy, Amir Abdullah. He's 0% rostered. We must monitor Zamir White. He got into the end zone, and that's really what put him there. He does get some kick returns like here and there, you know, when people actually allow the kick returners to return it. So if you get kick return points in your leagues, at least that's something that he does get here and there. Super desperation flyer if you like just need someone to start because you got one of the 6 teams on bye, because we got the Chiefs, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Vikings all on bye. Amir Abdullah could be that 1 week fill-in, you know, for you. They're going up against Pittsburgh, not really the best matchup, but you know, if you got nobody, who else are you going to go get? Got to be someone like this or Agumbawale. Here's another desperation guy, but back-to-back 10-point weeks, Jeremy McNichols. If Washington gets up again in the game. They're going up against Baltimore, so probably not going to happen. But just saying, they gave him 7 touches still, and they gave him red zone touches. He got a touchdown. Do I think that he does anything close to that this week? No. But if you have like no options because of all the bye weeks or injuries or whatever, you could do a lot worse than Jeremy McNichols with someone like super random that you need to throw in there. Again, the first couple guys outside of Trey Sermon that I mentioned, all super desperation like type of like plays this week. But we got those and we got the popular ones. Here comes the ones that I like a lot more. What up, Sam? He said, so Laporta next week or keep Kraft in? I'm probably going Laporta, but, you know, don't drop Kraft. Do not drop him. Now, this guy, Roshan Johnson, he might seem like a desperation like type of pickup, but he just keeps getting a similar amount of work. If the Bears are, I mean, if they're clicking, you know, then he gets a little bit more touches. He got 10 touches, ended up getting 2 touchdowns, you know, so giving him that work in the red zone. And Swift, one of those times he was hella pissed about it. He's like, come on, run the playback. And they're like, get your ass off the field. Here comes Roshan with the easy ass, like 2-yard run for a touchdown. He's 20% rostered. They got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up this week. Okay. So like Jacksonville, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention at all, but they're giving up the booty to running backs, to wide receivers, to quarterbacks, literally everything. Look at what the Colts did to them last week. And the Bears are at home. So you got to like that. And again, if you're picking up a guy like Roshan to play, it's because you're like pretty desperate, at least as far as playing. I would pick him up as a stash, you know, one way or the other. Those other guys that I mentioned, those guys are guys you only pick up if you really need to play. Maybe Derek Gumbawale could be like a good stash, but Roshan, he's a good stash. Anything happens to Swift, we know he's going to be like the main guy, like over there. Still a part of a committee, but he would be like the 1A of that committee. So if Roshan's available and you need a stash,
Pick him up.
let's get it. Andre said, yeah, Huss, I was chilling, thinking I got an easy week coming up by 30. And then, then Kraft went insane. I mean, dude, he killed it. Here's someone that I was mentioning last week. Once we knew that Singletary was doubtful for the week, it kind of came out of nowhere. But Tyrone Tracy, because before this game where he's just, you know, the backup running back, he's getting a couple touches, a catch here and there, but like nothing insane. And then Devin Singletary goes out, and it looks like they actually have like a really good run game. It's kind of crazy. 18 for 129. And he didn't get like any extra pass work or anything like that. But Tyrone Tracy,
Pick him up.
who knows? He might just overtake Singletary in general, just because Singletary is not really that good. Yeah, I mean, when going into the season, most people, we had him like low 20s, maybe in the 30s. Like you had like backups that you wanted more than Singletary, you know, and Tyrone Tracy may come in and steal that job altogether, regardless of injury or not. Devin Singletary legit might have lost his job while he wasn't there.
That was stupid. How the hell you gonna get fired on your day off?
You got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
Am I right? Ooh, dropped Tyrone 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's tough. That's why I don't like drafting these guys, because you have to make the decision to hold or not. My last guy here is the lowest hanging fruit of them all. But if you listen to me, you picked him up last week when he was only 11% rostered. That is Tank Bigsby. He's only 23% rostered. So he is going to be the #1 waiver wire pickup of the week. Hands down, I would say, out of any position, because look at what he did. 13 attempts for 101. He had that 60+ yard touchdown. He had a reception for 28 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns on the game. Killing it. I don't think he steals ETN's job or anything like that, but he's showing that he deserves touches. And this is his 3rd game with over 73 rushing yards. It's going to be hard to keep him off of the field. So if he's available,
Pick him up.
You should have done it when I told you last week, but that's why you need to be watching these videos every single week. Like, get ready. If you guys play in team defense leagues, I got team defenses that are going to destroy it for you this week. Got the wide receivers, got the tight ends. You need to watch my tight end videos. Tucker Kraft was my favorite pickup of all the tight ends last week. So you guys need to make sure you are watching this heat because it's going to help you win a championship. So let's go get it. Starts with you subscribing right now and hitting that like button, and go join the 420 crew at 420crew.com. It is our private fantasy community on Patreon. You will love it. A lot of good insight. Go over there and get signed up. You can sign up for free, or you can sign up as a paid member. And then everyone, don't forget to check out 420crewmerch.com. Go support the cause. Go check out some dope shirts and some dope merch. And the most important thing that you can do is click on one of these videos that is popping up right around you right now. All the other positional waiver wire videos for week 6. We'll catch you next time, but click the video right now. There we go. Oh, dang it. I totally fucking forgot. Let me throw this back in there. Mix this in right before the end. So Tank Bigsby, for you guys who play with Fab, he's a guy you spend it all. Spend it. 60 to 75% of your Fab. That's what you want to spend. Always make sure when you're doing Fab, don't go 5, 10, 15, 20. Do 21, 26, 31. Spend that extra dollar, because as humans, we're just inclined to go with the 5, 10, 15, 20, just the even numbers, you know, quote unquote. Spend that extra dollar. It might be the difference between you getting a guy like Tank Bigsby and not getting him. 60 to 75% of your Fab. Very confident that you must spend that much this week. There we go. Thanks for saying that, Sean, because I totally forgot. Okay. And everyone just picked up Bigsby in my home league. Open waivers, what? Yes, dude. Fucking awesome. I mean, that's what's awesome about open waivers. I mean, it sucks when someone else gets a guy, but, you know, on it. Let's go. What up? Waiver Wire Week 6 edition. I'm bringing you the wide receivers. We got a lot of peeps to talk about that are going to help you win your league. If you didn't see any of the other videos, the running back video, the team defense video, tight ends, you need to watch the tight end video because you know your tight ends suck. Make sure that you're subscribing. Make sure you're watching all the other videos. And I got 8 wide receivers to talk about. I always kind of start with your little bit more desperation like plays, and then I got my favorite plays at the end. So make sure that you stick around towards the end. Let's get down to biz. Now, this might be some of the lowest hanging fruit out there is Darius Slayton. He's not necessarily my favorite because once Neighbors comes back, he's going to go a little bit more to being like kind of like an afterthought. Danny Pesos Jones, he does not go through his progressions very well. It's usually the first or second guy that he's locking on. And Darius Slayton went from being the number 3 guy to the number 2 guy because Neighbors was out. So just throwing it out there. I know this is super low hanging fruit because he scored like 26 points last week. He went over 100 with a touchdown, but with Neighbors coming back, I doubt he has any kind of similar production at all to that. So just remember that I like him, but Neighbors back, you probably don't want to start him. A-Chain going through concussion protocol. Mostert a hold. Yes, Mostert is a hold. Mixon, White, Allen, Tracy Mostert. Yes, don't get rid of him. Don't get rid of him. And crazy because like last week, he was like the guy who was like fringe droppable, right? How shit changes in a week, you know? Drop Gus for Dare. I probably would. I just don't think Gus is really ever going to be too much. Here we go. I told you that this list, it always starts with a very, very dart throw, desperation, like type of guys. Now, depending on how desperate you are, Cordarrelle Hodge, he's not going to get many targets, but the high-powered offense of the Falcons and the way that they're throwing it and how they can't really get the run going, like Cordarrelle Hodge, if you are super, super desperate in a deep league, here you go. Here's one guy. There you go. He got a touchdown last week. But I just feel like the more that the Falcons have to throw it, and I don't think their defense is going to be helping them with, getting them dominating in games necessarily. The guys like Cordarrelle Hodge are going to be out there running around. He had 18% of the snaps this week. And that's kind of like my main reason for even bringing him up, because before this, he's playing in like 5% of the snaps. He actually jumped up a lot. And, I guess it's going to kind of depend on like Drake London, because we know he's a little bit banged up right now. So that's like another reason why you would even play a Cordarrelle Hodges if there's anything wrong with like Drake London in general. I mean, Mostert, he's super good on paper and he's super fucking fast, but here's another desperation wide receiver potential pickup and flex this week. Rashad Bateman. I usually say don't fall for the bait, man. Yeah. He's gotten 2 touchdowns this year, and those have been the games that he's gone over double-digit points. The only games that he's gone over double-digit points. But they go against the Commandos this week, and that even though the Commandos defense kind of stepped it up a little bit, they still give up the booty to a lot of positions, including the wide receiver. And he plays about 60% of the snap. Well, let's just say 60 to 70%, somewhere in the 60s. So you could do a lot worse than him when you're talking about just like these dart throw flexes when you like literally have nobody, you got injuries, you got a handful of guys on bye, something like that. Then maybe Bateman ends up being someone who you kind of think about because he plays 60-something% of the snaps. I mean, he got 8 targets this past week. They're having to throw it a lot. And the way that Washington's been playing recently, I feel like they will be moving the ball and scoring points and probably going to force the Ravens to have to throw it a little bit more. But you got to be desperate. There we go. Some other desperation. Is Dobbins still worth or keeping, or is he droppable? I mean, I'd probably keep him or try to trade him because there's still people who remember him as like the first 2 weeks Dobbins, but he's got some bad matchups. He really does. Another desperation type of wide receiver here, Mr. Ray McCloud. 11 points in each of the last 2 weeks, 16 total targets in the last 2 weeks, 12 receptions, over 50 yards in each of the last 2 games. It's not great, but you need someone to get you around 10 points, whether he scores a touchdown or not. Ray McCloud's been that guy running out of the slot for the Falcons. So depending on your level of desperation, I like this guy way better than Hodge, way better than Bateman. He's been pretty solid as their number 3 wide receiver option over there. And if anything is going on with like Drake London, just expect him to, he already plays like pretty much like damn near all the snaps. So it's not really that, but just expect more targets to be coming his way. Andre said we buying low on Brees. Depends on how low. Depends on how low. Because I don't think he has the best matchups. I mean, they got the Bills this week, and, the Bills have actually been a good matchup for the running backs. Next guy here, we just saw him ball out on Sunday night, and with no Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert That's who we're talking about here. Ended up being a really solid flex pick up and play. He had 10 targets, 7 receptions, 87 yards, had that touchdown. They got Detroit coming up this next week. And Detroit, you really can't run on them, but you can throw on them a bunch. So Jalen Tolbert is a for sure pick up and start.
Pick him up.
If you need a flex play for week 6, I would assume a lot of snaps. Played like almost 90% of the snaps. And 10 targets, even if he's not getting 10 targets a game, but if it's anywhere close to it, that's what we want out of a flex. A guy who's going to get some opportunity, a guy who plays in an offense that throws a lot. And yeah, he's only 7% rostered, so go pick him up.
Pick him up.
Next guy here. It's so funny. If you're watching this on YouTube, he looks more stoned than me. His eyes aren't even open while he's like smiling and cheesing. Allen Lazard. This was his 3rd game with over 8 targets. He got 10. So it was actually the highest of the season. Only 4 receptions, only 34 yards, but he did get the touchdown as well. And the one thing that he's going to have going for him is that him and Aaron Rodgers, they're at least a little bit more on the same wavelength than it seems like here, and him and Garrett Wilson are most of the time, even though Garrett Wilson balled out. Like I told you guys, don't sit him for any bums. Allen Lazard is just going to get those targets, man. Like they throw it a lot. Teams, like, they're really doing whatever they can to stop the run. And they've been doing it, and it's been pretty bad. And they got Buffalo this week, and it's been a lot easier to run on Buffalo than it has been to throw. But I feel like no matter what, Aaron Rodgers is going to keep chucking the ball. And Allen Lazard, he's definitely one of his favorite targets out there. So what do we do?
Pick him up.
Let's do it. Now I got 2 wide receivers to talk about. I kind of consider them one and the same because you're probably not going to go like get both of these guys because they play on the exact same team. Josh Downs. I told you if it's Flacco to go pick him up.
Pick him up.
And he only got 12 targets, only got 9 receptions, and he only got 69 yards.
69, dudes.
Very good. Very good. And if it's Flacco moving forward, I want him. If it's Richardson, I don't want to play him. And that's how it's going to be for him and this next guy here. Of course, you know that I'm talking about Alec Pierce. Balled out, 3 targets, 3 receptions, 134 yards, and a touchdown. He's got 3 touchdowns on the year. The reason why I like Downs a lot more, I mean, 3 targets versus 12, you know, who's going to be a little bit more consistent with the points and their production and all that. He almost had 2 touchdowns. I mean, he got taken down at what? The 2-yard line, 3-yard line, something like that. But yeah, Alec Pierce, if he is available,
pick him up.
But I am only playing him if it is Flacco. Only if it is Flacco. I only got 1 more, and this is my favorite of the entire show. So make sure you guys hang around and hit that subscribe. Russ said Pittman will be on Sneed Island this week too. Yeah, I totally should have mentioned that, but we'll talk about that more when it comes to starts and sits and all that. Sean's, I drafted Pittman in the 2nd round. He's a bust. Well, he's a bust if he's playing with Richardson. If he's playing with Flacco, he's gonna boom. My last guy on the list, Mr. Darnell Mooney. I have been telling you to go pick this dude up.
Pick him up.
He killed it last week. 31 points. Come on, man. Killed it. 16 targets. I mean, definitely is most of the season. But did you hear that? 16 targets. If there's anything wrong with Drake London, he's just going to stay with this kind of volume. He had 9 receptions, 105 yards, had the 2 touchdowns. I don't really know what else there is to say about him because I've been talking about him like every single week. So I can only say it one more time because after this week, he will be above 50% rostered.
Pick him up.
48% rostered as of now. Go get him on your squad because the Falcons, they are throwing so much and the defenses are keying in so much on Pitts and Bijan that it makes a guy like Mooney just like always be wide open. So last time that I can say it.
Pick him up.
Make sure you guys subscribe. I have a bunch of other videos that are out there. I do this every single week. I also put out a start and sit video where I go through every single position, every single game, talk about every single fantasy relevant player, at least for a second or two. So you guys need to be watching that. Subscribe. If you have not, I will be your biggest fantasy resource throughout this year, hands down. And go join our private fantasy community at 420crew.com. Go check out the merch at 420crewmerch.com. And the best thing that you can do besides subscribing, hit that like button, throw in a comment, and you see the videos that are popping up around you right now, click one of those videos and go check out some other waiver wire heat that's going to help you win. All right. Sean said, same guy in my league must watch your channel. He has like half of these guys. Maybe. Abraham said, should I drop White for Trey Sermon? Is there nobody else? And I got more, guys. Everyone watching live. That was just the running backs and wide receivers. I'm going through every position. We got Team D right now, and we got tight ends and then quarterbacks. Fantasy Dog said, thanks, my man. Good stuff. Appreciate you. Bottom said I picked up Cousins last week since Mahomes has a bye coming up. Saw Mooney available as well. And was like, fuck it. Both killed it on Thursday night. Boom. You got them before they turn into the number one waiver wire pickups at their positions because Mooney definitely going to be the biggest waiver wire pickup of the week. And Lipsy said, need some defense. That's next. Should have started him over Mahomes and D Johnson. Over Johnson for sure. But yeah, we'll see what Mahomes does. Maybe Mahomes has a decent appearance. What up? Waiver Wire Week 6 edition. We are talking defense and special teams, team defense. Let's get down to biz. You know, one of the reasons why you want to be watching my videos, last week I gave you 6 defenses and 5 of them finished above 10 points and 4 of them finished inside the top 7. I keep hitting week after week after week, and I'm giving you teams that are available in 50% of leagues or less. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And I got all the other positional waiver wire videos that you need to watch. I will shout that out at the end of the show. I go with the way I order these defenses. The guys in the beginning, those are going to be the more desperation plays, the guys who might be a little bit more available. And then I save my favorite for last. So buckle up. Yeah. Don't leave yet. We still got more to talk about. Papa J said IDP is fire. Fuck team defense. You right. And sometimes I would be saying that on the video. I'm just not going to do that anymore. Now, my first team here, they were on bye in week 5, the Tennessee Titans. They got a pretty good defense. We saw what they did against Miami. I mean, everyone's doing good against Miami. I only want to play them if they're going up against Anthony Richardson. That's a lot of what this comes down to. If the Titans are going up against Richardson, I'm starting them in a desperation, like flex type of, in a desperation defense, start only if it's Richardson. If it's Flacco, I want no parts of them. So just remember that. Same game, different name. We're going with the Colts. I like the Colts a lot more than the Titans. The Titans are giving up the most points to team defense out of anybody. So that's why I like it. I mean, it's just a really great play. And Jacksonville last week in Jacksonville, the Colts do not have a really good track record of playing good in Jacksonville. And, they didn't really score any points. They're coming off back-to-back like decent games, though, before that. And now you got the team that gives up the most points to team defense. So that's why if the Colts are available, 17% rostered, so they're very available. Pick them up.
Pick 'em up.
And start them if you are desperate. My third team here, they played pretty good in the matchups that they were supposed to play good in, their first two matchups. Then Pittsburgh and KC, not so much. But now they got the Denver Broncos, and we haven't seen the Denver Broncos be, they're winning, but they're winning because of their defense. They're not winning because of like a high-powered offense or anything like that. So I want the Chargers in this divisional matchup. I would rather play them over the Colts. And I hate the Chargers, as you guys know, but they are coming off the bye, so they should be a little bit more prepared. And the Broncos, they have not offensively, they have not been anything to like scare us away from starting the defenses against them. It probably encourages us to start the defenses against them even more. And Z Money, what up? I'm down 2. I have Worthy. He has Kelsey. You think I could pull that off? I mean, you got a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
But it's pretty grim. Now this team, the Philadelphia Eagles, coming off of a bye, hopefully getting a little bit more healthy. Definitely haven't lived up to expectations like defense-wise. That's why they're not my favorite defense of the week. You'll see my favorite defensive pickup of the week here in a couple seconds. But they're only 34% rostered, and they got the Cleveland Browns. If it is Deshaun Watson, we are firing up the Eagles. You have to. They've been so bad on offense, and 34% rostered. I mean, they're available in 2/3 of leagues out there. So I'd feel confident starting the Eagles versus the Browns if it's Watson over the Chargers, Colts, or the Titans. Those were the other ones that I mentioned. Mondo said I was thinking about scooping up a defense for next week, but could only drop stashes. Said gotta wait, but the Eagles and the Chargers are available. Yeah, I'd rather go the Chargers over the Eagles. Chris, we said, did you say sit Slayton? Well, I said if Neighbors comes back, you're probably not going to want to play Slayton in week 6. That was specifically what I said. And Neighbors probably coming back, but, we've seen guys miss multiple games for concussions before. Now, here is my favorite team of the week, and it is the Houston Texans. They're rostered in 41% of leagues. And it's crazy that they're rostered so high because they've had some, not so good matchups, and they just throw down single points, in those. But going up against the New England Patriots, dude, come on, let's go. This is one of the premier matchups on the week for a team defense because the Patriots, they have been very suspect all over the place. They don't score a lot of points. I mean, Brissett, it's not like he's a turnover machine, but we know that he can fumble it. We know he can throw some big old greasy picks. And yeah, Ramondre, he's kind of hit or miss, on the with the run game as far as his top end production. Shout out to Ramondre, that did have a great game this past week. Yeah, Houston Texans, pick them up.
Pick 'em up.
41% roster. They're my favorite team of all these 5 that I mentioned for this week. And if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Do it now. I got all the other positional videos. They're going to be popping up here in a second, but it doesn't matter what position you need. I got a video for it. Go check it out. It's going to be some heat. It's going to help you win your league. And make sure you subscribe. If you have not, hit the like, drop a comment, go join our private community on Patreon. It's 420crew.com. You can join for free, but you can also join as a paid member. You get access to way more being a paid member. So I'd highly recommend that. 420crewmerch.com. Go support the mission. And the most important thing that you could do besides hitting subscribe, besides hitting that like button, is checking out all these videos that are popping up right now. And click on one of those videos and go check out click on one of the videos and go rinse and repeat, do the exact same process, and watch all the waiver wire videos that have dropped today. And for you IDP savants, IDP coming tomorrow. There we go. We're just going to keep continuing here. Waiver Wire Week 6 edition. We are talking about the tight ends. And trust me, it is very loose. It's ugly. Very ugly. But last week, I told you to pick up Tucker Kraft. And boom, what does he do? Number 2 tight end on the week. Let's go. So that's kind of heat that you're getting around here. He was only 4% rostered as of last week. And now, insanely rostered. Let's go. I got 6 tight ends to talk about. And the tight end at the end, it's the sneakiest of all sneakiness. Someone who I guarantee is not on your radar. So make sure you hang around through all 6. Chewy, what up? 181 points, going for 200. Got Olave and Kelsey tonight. Boom, let's get it, baby. Let's get it. The first guy here, Strange. Brenton Strange. Second-year guy. He's only viable when Evan Ingram is not playing. So Evan Ingram, we didn't even know until Sunday if he was really going to play or not. Well, I guess Saturday night, they say he's unlikely to play. And so that's when I started reminding everyone it's a good matchup for whatever tight end plays against the Colts. And it's going to be the same moving forward for the Colts. Brenton Strange, I'd only pick him up if Evan Ingram isn't going to play. But if Evan Ingram does not play, it's another somewhat decent matchup for the tight ends. Now, I mentioned these tight ends in order of like how desperate you are at the position. Like my last one, very, very sneaky. Okay. Super, super sneaky. This guy's almost too sneaky. Mr. Charlie Kohler, the guy who gets a touchdown, 3 receptions, 64 yards, and outproduces Mark Andrews. It's weird. I don't even know what universe we are living in right now where you might even go consider picking up Charlie Kohler. But if you play in a deeper league, he might be someone to go pick up. I'm not even going to hit the drop for him because it's pretty ugly. But, dude, 15 points last week. One of the top tight ends on the week. Craziness. My next guy here to pick up, Mr. Mo Alley Cox. Now, we've seen 2 versions of this guy. Big pause. We've seen Mo Alley big, and we've seen Mo Alley small. If it is Flacco, I think he's going to be Mo Alley big, okay? We got to be paying attention to if it's Flacco or not, because if it's Richardson, it's definitely going to be Mo Alley small. So we're not going to mess around too much with him unless we know that it's Flacco. But if it's Flacco,
Pick him up.
rostered in 0% of leagues, you threw down 11 points. League let me trade Dobbins for Kelsey. Jeez. Craziness. If you have one of the few tight ends on bye, or you're injured, or you're just dealing with bullshit tight ends, Cade Otton's pretty bullshit. I mean, he really is. Only threw down 7 points. this past week. But dude, tight ends are so bad that at least he's getting some kind of targets like out there. And they're going up against the Saints. They're going up against the Saints this week, and the Saints, they've been giving up some points to tight ends. So Cade Otton,
Pick him up.
I mean, every tight end is doing bad this year, so we got to keep that in mind. And at least he's gotten some solid targets over the last couple games. Flacco's like, Rodgers will always know where his security blanket is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've got 2 more tight ends to talk about. Remember, my last one, sneakiest of the sneaky. You're going to destroy your league with this pick. But now Conklin, I told you to pick him up last week.
Pick him up.
He actually dropped in roster percentage, I think, because of the game. Like Minnesota, I mean, I think a lot of people thought that Minnesota is going to completely like shut them down. But if you watch this channel, you know that Minnesota, one of the only ways that you can kind of move the ball on them is through the tight end spot. And Aaron Rodgers knew that too. 9 targets, the most that he's had of the season. And he had 6 receptions and 55 yards. Let's go. Tight ends suck. They really do. They're very loose. But Conklin, they got Buffalo this week. Buffalo, one of the only ways you can move the ball is over the middle, do the tight end spot. Pretty sure Aaron Rodgers would know that. And Conklin is mid as he and every other tight end has been. I think he's in for a lot of targets against Buffalo. So what are we going to do?
Pick him up.
Let's do it. Here comes the sneaky of the sneaky. Sean said, what can you keep in your keeper league 1 year to the next? It depends. Every keeper league is different. So you'd have to give me the specifics on like how yours actually works. Perry says, say I could send a package centered around Brian Thomas for Amon-Ra. Would you do that or stay with Thomas? If you could get Amon-Ra, you figure out how to get him. Chewy said Lamar, A-Chain, Isaiah Evans, Pittman, basically. Oh, only reason I asked so many questions, by the way, in 5-man keeper league. Oh, so he was talking about Chewy. Yes. And what was it? Oh, the trading the Dob. So which one was it? What's the actual question? Sorry, I'm going so quick and like a lot of names and everything just in my brain right now. Okay, here we go. I'm going to talk very low so your workmates won't hear me talk about this guy because we are talking the sneakiest of the sneaky for tight ends. Super, super sneaky. Talking about Theo Johnson on the New York Giants. Yes, I know you don't know who that is. Theo Johnson, okay? The Rook out there. He's been getting a decent amount of snaps throughout this whole time. This was finally it. This was finally the time that they unleashed him a little bit, giving him 5 targets. He got 5 receptions, 48 yards. They're going up against Cincinnati. He is getting the most snaps out of all the tight ends on the team. So this is the sneakiest play of all the tight ends. Don't tell nobody. Theo Johnson. And there you have it. All the tight ends who may or may not be worth picking up. Okay. May or may not be worth picking up. But we got to make moves nonetheless because we got 6 teams on bye: the Chiefs, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Vikings. And even though, kind of Kelsey's like the only guy like on that list, we still need to keep making moves for these tight ends because, like I said, it's been very loose. And it sucks. It really does. Like, this is literally the worst tight end season like ever. It's no cap. So what are you going to do with these guys that I just mentioned?
Pick them up.
And what else are you going to do? You're going to hit that subscribe button. You're going to hit that like button. You're going to hit that comment. And you're going to remember that I am going to be your biggest fantasy resource for the year. That is no cap. I do this full time. And all the other guys out there who tell you all the bullshit, trust me, you're coming here to get real analysis, not just low hanging fruit. Felt like I was going to cough right there. So do all that and more. Join our private fantasy community on Patreon. It is 420crew.com. You can join for free, but I recommend joining as a paid member. You get access to a lot of information. And go to 420crewmerch.com. Go support the mission. But you know the thing that you should do right now? Click on one of these videos that's popping up for the other waiver wire positions, and then rinse and repeat. Go check out all these videos because I'm bringing the heat. Let's go. And Sean, do you stream at the same time each week? I stream every morning, every single morning. I'm here doing different fantasy stuff. And then during all the games, if there's a game going on, I'm streaming that game 9 times out of 10. And then a lot of times we do have the evening streams as well. But this morning stream is definitely, it's the one that usually lasts like 2 to 4 hours. And then we're covering different things. And I'm like recording the video within the live streams and all that of what I'm doing. And yeah, so make sure you're here, bro. Every morning we're rocking. We rocking. And Brazil, what was that? Was that about the sneaky tight end? Who's the sneaky? I told you it was going to be sneaky. How many of you guys were thinking about the rook, Theo Johnson, at all when I was talking about sneaky tight ends? Super sneaky tight end, right? This was actually the first game. I mean, because he was getting snapped. So, like, he's someone that I've been paying attention to. Hard for me to, like, recommend someone who's only had 1 catch in a game. Like, I mean, had 1 catch in 3 separate games. But, and, like, the snap percentage is there. But they finally utilized him more in the past game. It took Neighbors, like, being out. But, like, now, trust me, he's going to start being more involved over the middle of the field. Like now that he's got 5 weeks under his belt, like let's see. Maybe this kid can turn it on, get a couple 50, 60 yard games with, 5, 6 receptions, mix in a touchdown. He's like a tight end 1 in some weeks. Marcos, I remember that you were surprised when he got drafted in best ball. Yeah, for sure. That's how bad that, like, they don't like Daniel Bellinger. It's crazy because you would think that they really like Daniel Bellinger. They don't. He's actually getting the least amount of snaps out of the 3 tight ends that they have on their team. That's one of the things that's been insanely surprising, because the reason why I didn't like Theo Johnson was for year 1 for redraft purposes is because they had Daniel Bellinger and it seemed like they fucking like him. But no, they don't. He's getting like barely 10 to 15% of the snaps now. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what moves I'm going to do. Yeah, and all this is just part of the process. You hear a lot of the guys who I'm saying that you throw on the map. Every league is different. That's why I try to throw guys out there who are like desperation type of pickups, guys who aren't really rostered like at all. Because there's going to be people who are like, man, that guy's rostered in 40% of leagues. He hasn't been available in my league since week 1, so that's why you're going to, like, just remember when I say the desperation guys, those are the desperation guys, just always remember that, because it all depends on your league specifically, how desperate you are at certain positions. That's what it really comes down to. How desperate are you at certain positions? All right, last one, QBs. Let's go. We knocked this out pretty quick. Very impressed with myself. What do you guys think? Because I felt like I was taking way too long earlier, and I was. What up? Waiver Wire Week 6 edition. We got the quarterbacks. Woo! And we got 4 teams on bye. So make sure you got a Patrick Mahomes, something like that. You got to make some moves. And I'm bringing you the guys who hit and hit and hit. I also got every other positional waiver wire video up right now, so go check that out. If you're a team defense person, I got that as well. If you're an IDP person, that comes out Tuesday mornings. Check us on the live streams. Hit that subscribe button so you can catch us in the morning when these videos are being recorded and you can tune in. Oh, wait. With the quarterbacks, I'm going to give you some nice pieces in the front. I'm saving my sneaky picks towards the end. So make sure you stay around until the end. Crooner said, thanks for always helping with the trade stuff. I got Nico and want to trade for Diggs. Are you high on Devontae? Not super high on Devontae, but, you know, I like him. Corey, what up? He said, damn, G, I'm working right now and you're still alive. No one's as dedicated as you are, Alex. Thank you for the help every single day. Appreciate you, bro. Marco said, drop Juwanna Man for Theo. Probably, because when Taysom Hill's there, like Juwanna Man is just, I mean, you know, it's not like Theo is any kind of like, you know, like locked and loaded like guy, but I'm just saying like the amount of snaps that he's getting, he has been getting decent targets, but they haven't been the best because they're, you know, who they're coming from. But yeah, I think I would. Brazil said, guy in my league wants to give me Waddle, Tucker, Shakir for my Olave and Mixon. How generous of him. How generous of that guy. Don't do it. Crooner say you think Devontae for Diggs is too much. Like you would be getting Diggs or you would be getting Devontae? Oh, yeah, you said you want to trade for Diggs. I might do that. I kind of don't like trading wide receivers for wide receivers, though. Like, I really don't. And especially like similarly-ish valued like guys. I know Diggs is going to be higher valued than Devontae right now, but still kind of same type of, you know, range-ish of those guys. So, I mean, do I like Diggs more than Devontae, especially right now? Yeah, and I probably would. And trust me, Diggs isn't a Nico handcuff. Like, I'm assuming both those guys you might be able to deploy like most weeks. And never, like, if you consider Diggs a handcuff, you should not make this move. You know why? We don't trade starters for handcuffs around here. That's not a winning strategy. And Diggs is way more than a handcuff to me. So, I mean, I'm just saying, but like that should be a really good rule of thumb for anybody. We do not trade starters for handcuffs. Like we do not. Will says cut bait on Trey Benson. I told you, bro. Told you. Said picked up Ernest Jones. Hey, not too shabby. Because he's been doing all right. He said Dynasty League, but Benson got 0% of the snaps this week. Yeah. And Corey, have you started waivers yet or about right now? So I'm on the quarterbacks right now. This is the last one. I've already done all the other positions. So you can catch them on the replay. For Zill, JSN for Diggs. I would do that, but again, I don't like trading wide receivers for wide receivers. But I would do that because I like Diggs way more than JSN. That's the only way that I would trade a running back for running back, wide receiver for wide receiver, or whatever. I have to really like that other guy that I'm bringing back so much more than the guy that I'm trading away. Okay. Here we go. My first guy here to talk about, Kirk Cousins. He's rostered in 51% of leagues. I usually talk about guys in 50% or less, but one extra percentage point, I feel like I needed to mention him. Everybody cut bait on him like way too early. Like he had 2 shitty games like back to back. And now he has this big boom game against Tampa. And now he's the hottest thing out there. So you just got to remember with like a guy like Kirk Cousins, who like came over to a new team, new system, like new everything. You got to give him a couple weeks because last week he wasn't rostered in 51% or less. Like he's actually been getting dropped over these last like 2 or 3 weeks, because 2 weeks ago 12 points, last week or 3 weeks ago 12 points, 2 weeks ago 7 points, but then this past week 43 points, big boom. So pick him up. If someone was foolish in your league and dropped him, and just remember, it is not a horrible thing to roster 2 or 3 quarterbacks in single QB leagues, because when bye weeks start coming, you're going to wish you had an extra person. And guess what? If you have that extra person, make a trade to someone desperate who waited too long to get a backup. Got to do it. And Corbin said, I like your tight end disclaimer. Which one? Which one? It felt like there were so many disclaimers in the tight end video that they all suck, every single one of them. See, no one's going to be honest like that. Like, you get the honesty around here. But yeah, tell me which one you're specifically talking about. Crooner said, I didn't start Devontae. He was a draft pick, but kind of on the hype and trade, but who knows where it's at. At least I know Diggs' situation. Yeah, for sure. For assuming Tua comes back, does that raise the value of A-Chain? Yes, it does, because their offense is going to be better. Raises the value of everybody back to normal. He said, like, does Bijan for A-Chain and some good chain sound good? Not right now, because A-Chain just got hurt. So like this right now, when there's some gray area, it would actually be the worst time that you can trade for A-Chain. Just because it's such a wide range of outcomes that could happen. I want to wait a couple days and I want to see what they tell us about the what they tell us about his injury status. Will said totally not football related, but why the hell are the NBA basketball games happening right now? Well, because it's preseason, and like preseason is not for viewership. Like nobody's fucking. I mean, I know some games are. Like I know some games are being televised, but not all the games are getting televised. And very good. I can't have more than 3 QBs tight ends in my home league. Huh? Interesting. I picked up Cousins since Jalen Hurts was on bye. Now I want to look and see if I can trade him to someone desperate at a QB. Oh, cool. See, there we go. That's why you guys should pick him up.
Pick him up.
Let's do it. Now, the guys, not Kirk Cousins, obviously, because Kirk Cousins might not even be available in your league. But the way I start these videos is based on your level of desperation. And Andy Dalton would be someone I feel like you got to be somewhat desperate to have to play in a single QB league. Superflex league, I'm firing him up. Last week, I told you guys not to play him versus the Bears because it's a really horrible matchup. Bears are shutting down quarterbacks, are shutting down wide receivers. You can run on them and you can kind of hit with the tight end a little bit, but that's why Andy Dalton sucked last week. It's not necessarily all his fault. The Bears are just that good. And now you got Atlanta. Look at what Baker did to him last week. So it's going to be like polar opposites of style of defense. And yeah, I want to start Andy Dalton this week, even in a single QB league. You got guys like Mahomes on bye. We got Stafford on bye, not a single QB league guy. We got Huntley on bye. Woo, thank the Lord. And you got Sam Darnold on bye. So you got 2 starting QBs here that are going to be on bye. And they're, if you guys are like thin at the waiver wire at QBs, Andy Dalton might be all you could get out there. 14% rostered. Frizil said safe to drop Wicks. Also, Leggett too. Are we holding? Leggett is probably safe to drop because the injury. That guy he's already been injured multiple times this year. It sucks. And Wicks is probably close to droppable. Like this is what we can expect from Wicks. Wide range of outcomes. 2 targets to like 10 targets, and anywhere kind of in between. If teams are preparing for him, he's probably not going to be that good. So probably safe to drop. Especially if you only picked him up, like needing someone for this week or something. Like, you got someone coming back who wasn't or whatever. Like, yeah, I'd just get rid of him. Now, Derek Carr is my favorite pickup of the week, only 33% rostered. I mean, it's actually like the highest on the video outside of Kirk Cousins, but he's my pickup of the week in most leagues. I got 3 sneaky pickups to talk about. They might be more stashes than anything. No, that's wrong. I still have 3 sneaky pickups to talk about, but Derek Carr available in 2/3 of leagues. They got the Bucks. Look at what Kirk Cousins just did to him last week. They're going to be at home. They're in the dome. We haven't seen him play against Kansas City at this exact moment, so I don't know if he's done good or bad against Kansas City. But Derek Carr has been solid, and divisional game versus Tampa Bay, and they're playing at home. Yeah, I'm firing him up and picking him up.
Pick him up.
Here we go. I'm picking him up,
Pick him up.
and I'm firing him up.
All right. Fire 'em up.
I told you I got 3 sneaky pickups. Now, a couple of these sneaky pickups you could pick up and play. Now, Joe Flacco, the reason why he's a sneaky pickup is because they lost and he fumbled. And had they not lost and had he not fumbled, Colts probably would just say, you know what? You're starting this week. It is a tough matchup. They're going up against Tennessee. We know what kind of defense Tennessee has. I mean, they are used to shutting people down, or at least slowing down the offenses. How about that? Because of guys like L'Jarius Sneed out there. But Flacco, pick him up.
Pick him up.
I might not play him this week versus Tennessee specifically, but it's only a matter of time before Richardson gets hurt again or before they just give Flacco the job, because Anthony Richardson, I said it before this season, he is going to ruin people's fantasy dreams this year. And a lot of it's not because of his talent. It's because that he runs a lot and he doesn't protect himself when he runs. And we saw that exactly happen versus Pittsburgh. And it's going to keep happening. He doesn't protect himself when he runs. He's going to get blasted by the wrong DB. And that DB that this past week was Minkah Fitzpatrick. And Anthony Richardson towers over Minkah Fitzpatrick. Like, he towers over some of these DBs. He can't handle these hits. These guys want to kill him. I just thought of another good drop. All right. All right. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. Got to make little notes of little videos that I'm thinking about that I want to like throw in editing wise. Like little pop culture things that just make the video pop a little bit more. Now, here's a really sneaky pickup and stash, Mr. Jameis Winston. We all know how horrible Deshaun Watson looks out there. I feel like there's only a matter of time before Deshaun Watson fully quits on the team, which it's kind of tough because he quits on the team. Like, then he's going to lose out on some of that money, I'm sure. Winston probably deserves to be in there. Like, when we saw some of the preseason games going down, you know, he's in there eating the W and everything. And like, he had that team hella hyped. I've never seen Deshaun Watson hype up the team like that ever. So Winston, pick him up.
Pick him up.
0% rostered, especially in single QB leagues. So this is more like probably like a super flex, like pick up in advance. We're all watching the same games, right? Like, it's only a matter of time before Watson is not the starting QB. He sucks. He really does. Too much on his mind. Now, I saved the sneakiest of the sneaky pick just for you guys for last. This last guy here, you guys know how much I hate him. Mr. Daniel Pesos Jones. Cincinnati, their defense just kind of sucks. Like, I think that's what this really comes down to. He's only 9% rostered. Nobody wants him. Like, he sucks. He's a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
So I'm with you. This is a real sneaky play because you are desperate at Superflex. You are desperate at single QB, and you got nobody that you can play. Nobody. You have Flacco, but then Richardson plays, you know, or some bullshit like that, and you got to start somebody. It's Danny Pesos. Yep. Versus Cincinnati. It's ugly. I hate recommending him, but I got to do it because he's so available, only 9% rostered. And look at what the Bengals have just been giving up. They have not been holding anybody down, especially the QBs. So, Danny Pesos.
Pick him up.
It sucks. And then you know what you do 1 week later?
Bye-bye, lard ass.
Get rid of his ass. And there you have it. All the QBs who you should be picking up. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I guarantee you I will be your biggest fantasy resource of this season. I go live every single morning. We're answering questions. We're hanging out. I record these videos, and then I'm answering questions between the video recording and things like that. It's a very fun time. If you guys need a fantasy community because you don't have one that you're a part of, or maybe you only rock with the footballers or whatever, come join our fantasy community, 420crew.com. It's the dopest fantasy community around. You can join for free, but you can also join as a paid member. I'd recommend doing that. You get access to way more things like our group chats, everything like that. Like the group chats, a lot of information. I do this full time. I'm bringing the information throughout the day about injuries, whole bunch of stuff, a lot of good times. The experiences are off the charts. I started a crazy amount of leagues. You guys want to get into some leagues with me because they are awesome. Now, the biggest thing that you can do, see these videos that are popping up, click on one of those videos, go check out any of the other positional waiver wire videos and rinse and repeat because I'm bringing the heat. I'm going to help you win the championship. Let's go. There we go. Woo. I think I did that in an hour. Maybe a little bit less than an hour. We did it. Yeah, see, the research takes like twice as long as actually recording the videos. That's the tough part about all this. Yes. All right. Bowl, and then I got to get to editing. Okay, Sean, what about Goff? Yeah, he's way more rostered than 50%. So that's why I tell people, you guys want to be here to ask questions because I try to do things that are available for the masses, you know. And let's see, I don't even know what Goff is rostered as, but I swear it's in the 90% somewhere. Let's go see. He is rostered in, 80% of leagues. So, yeah, I'd never mention anybody who's rostered in 80% of leagues because it's like so unlikely that he'll actually be available. Like, you know, unless like a 6-man league or an 8-man league or something, you know, that nature. Marco said Fields, Hines, Rodgers, Knicks, Flacco, Stafford, Dolphin, Winston all available in my home league. What's the deal, though? Jones and Johnson, sneakiest stash in fantasy history. Right. Right. Said roll prediction since San Francisco is closing. They rush back CMC, run him into the ground. Nah. I don't even think he plays this week. Less than 50% on ESPN. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Said he's available. What? He's available for free in my 12-man league. I know why. Because they had a bye this week. So a lot of people dropped him for that bye. Yeah. Pick him up.
Pick him up.
Yeah, that could be that has to be the only reason, you know, is that so many people dropped him for the bye. Yeah. Done right now, baby. I told you guys. I got to do it faster. Jaleel McLaughlin, RB, any thoughts? I didn't even mention him. He's just one of those guys. Like, I mean, there's probably like 20 guys who I could mention. I don't think too highly of McLaughlin. I really don't. I mean, unless there's, you know, an injury to Javonte, like I really don't think McLaughlin's going to be like that guy. Oh, should I do it? Want to trade him away? I mean, you got to find someone who's super desperate at running back or like has like Javonte, you know, maybe. And, but yeah, it would someone desperate, someone desperate for sure. And there's some desperate people out there right now. Desperate times, man. Not quite sure why my phone auto-corrected Jones to Hines. You're thinking Josh Hines Allen? But yeah, definitely some of the biggest, sneakiest pickups. All right, one more bowl, and then I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys rocking. And Sean's, thanks for hanging out so long, dude. First time subscriber, and you stayed here for a long ass time. Appreciate you, bro. It's always a fun time. Always a fun time. And no one else interacts with like the peeps like I do, like people just asking questions and stuff. I used to do a show where it was me and a bunch of other people. Realize it's just for the birds. It's like more fun to like be here by myself, communicate with the chat as much as possible, because at the end of the day, I feel like for myself, I wouldn't be sitting here if like I didn't feel like, you know, someone was paying attention to me. Like, you know, like if I was sitting in the chat and I felt like, you know, I wasn't being paid attention to at all. So that's what I feel like. I really take that part of the streaming seriously, because like you guys could literally be watching anything right now. Woo! All right. Marco said, I'm here just so I don't get fined. You damn right. You damn right you are. Good show. Waivers sucked this week, but you know, it could be worse. Like, it could be worse. There's actually some decent guys. And I know he had a couple injuries, but it's not like we had an insane amount of injuries this week. So yeah, knock on wood that some of the worst injury weeks are behind us at this point, at least like quantity wise. All right. Woo. Get up out of here. I'm going to go edit these videos. Don't forget, when you see these waiver wire videos drop, do me a favor, because what I'm going to do today, I'm going to have them all post after Monday Night Football. I'm not going to post them right now, because I feel like if I post them right after Monday Night Football, that's when people are going to start being in waiver wire mode. So maybe even at halftime, like I might be posting them or something. But yeah, a lot of them, they're going to be posted later today. And then I don't have to rush to like do everything as well, because I feel like there was no views on them on Monday. Like people, it was already too early for people to be like in that mode. So now we got them recorded. I'm going to work on the editing, go get some cool shit, you know, in there, so it looks hella dope. Work on the thumbnails, and then yeah, we'll be back for Monday Night Football. So anybody who's going to be watching the game, come chill with the crew. We'll be live everywhere like always. And yeah, right after Monday Night Football, go be on the lookout for the waiver wire pickups, because yeah, I'm gonna make sure that we get a jump on it now. All right. Peace out, everybody. We'll catch you for Monday Night Football.
Defense on me.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure
They remember forever the night they